Okay, here we are again. Haven't seen this logo in a while. It's already been 5 minutes. Surprising. Maybe I'm not used to stretching with the table here again. Because we're not on the PS5 setup like we were. We're on the home computer setup. But I can move the home computer where I want by sticking it on a table. So I have to adjust because normally I stretch in the center of the room and the table sits in the center of the room, so that doesn't really, well, work out. But that's okay. I might just take a drink and get started because the intro is going to take a few minutes anyway, so. Do this. Strap in real good because I really do need to get a new one of these things, but I've gone to the store and tried to look for sleeves like this one, and they're just not really good. Like, I bought one before that was supposed to be a replacement, but it was only like the wrist one, and you stick your thumb in it, and it like hurts your wrist after about 25 minutes of having it on. I don't even have it on particularly tight either, like when I put the other one on, but it's like, okay, my hand doesn't really want to do this, my thumb doesn't really want to do this, the space in between it is getting calloused, and it hurts my wrist, so it's like, what, I don't know what you want me to do here, so just stick with what we've got, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna mute the mic so that the intro can play out with its pristine audio, and I'll be back when it's done. Oh yeah, I forgot there's reading. So let's read, shall we? This is the Crystal Chronicle. Wait, wrong game. What was the start of all this? When did the cogs of fate begin to turn? Perhaps it is impossible to grasp that answer now, from deep within the flow of time. Balthazar? Is that you? Did I ever refer to Balthazar in this game? I forget. But for certainty, back then, we loved so many, yet hated so much. We hurt others and were hurt ourselves. Yet even then, we ran like the wind, whilst our laughter echoed under cerulean skies. That's one of those intro songs that just sticks with you, man. Don't matter how far along you go. Chrono Cross just has a tendency well, specifically the Scars of Time, or Time Scar, depending on your translation, is the music that plays there, and it just sticks with you. It's one of those songs that you just can't escape from when it comes to video game intros. It's real good. Massive spoilers in the actual intro itself, but you probably wouldn't know them just by looking at them if you've never played this before. Anyway, how you doing, everybody? My name is Monochromium, and this is Chrono Cross. I had to press start there because otherwise the game will skip over to its secondary intro, and that one's like 4 or 5 minutes long. So I mean, I could skip that one obviously, but like, nah, we'll look at that one later. It's fine. Excuse me. Yeah, so Chrono Cross is the sequel to Chrono Trigger, which we played earlier, way earlier in the lifetime of this stream. I forget if I played it in 2018 or 2019. I want to say 2018. But I could be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure I played it before Persona 5. Hang on, let me, I could probably go get a general reading on it if I go look at my playlists. Hold on. It's been a long time, so my memory is a little fuzzy. There's Chrono Trigger. No, it must have been 2019 because it looks like, according to this, I played it after XCOM, which I think was the end of 2018, I want to say. Let's look here. Hang on. Well, it says 6 years ago, so that must have been 2018 then. March 9th, 2018. There we go. That was when the first episode of my Chrono Trigger streams were posted. So there you go. That gives you an idea. It's been about 6 years since we played it. And yeah, no, I mean, I thought Chrono Trigger itself was pretty good. I didn't grow up with it, so I don't think I had the same nostalgia for it as other people did. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid RPG, all things considered. Chrono Cross comes off the heels of that, and how do I put this in a way that won't have me talk at length about it yet? I'm not sure if I can put it in a way that I can. It's complicated, I guess is the best way that I can say it, because my feelings on the game are complicated, and Chrono Cross itself and its relationship to Chrono Trigger, both of these are complicated, and I'm hoping that over the course of the stream here, I'll be able to kind of pull those out and kind of piece it together for myself, because sometimes I feel like I want to talk about this game, but it's hard to talk about it because if I do talk about it, I have to like go over a whole bunch of extra stuff in order to like effectively talk about the whole game in order to really give you an idea about how I feel about it. There are, I mean, to put it, I guess, succinctly, there are places where I think Chrono Cross has the potential to be even better than Chrono Trigger, but there's always some sort of a counterbalance to that. This playthrough will help me decide whether it all balances out and the game just ends up, yeah, it's okay for me, or if I feel more strongly about it or more, well, I guess, yeah, more strongly about it, just depending on whether it's better or worse than what I think. So we're going to have to see just how that all goes. I have played it before, so I understand what happens in the game. I just think that it's hard for me to really explain myself in a way that doesn't explain the whole game. So hopefully over the course of the next several streams, we'll be able to pick that apart a little bit and I can talk about it. So I've been kind of actually looking forward to this project because it lets me pick it apart and look at it. And so hopefully we'll be able to get working on that today. Hey, Sefiko, how you doing? Welcome back. Is that a gosh darn Japanese RPG from my childhood? Yes, it sure is. You played it and you got stuck, so you've never seen it completed. We will be making our best effort. We won't be completing it today, obviously. It's quite long. Well, I shouldn't say quite long. It's about as long as Chrono Trigger, so maybe a little longer. So won't be finishing it today, obviously, but we will attempt to finish it. I think it's going to take about 13 streams to be, if I'm mathing that out correctly, based on my last playthrough, which was like 36 hours. Usually takes a little longer from when I do the stream, so I'm thinking like 38, 39 hours. So we'll see if it all works out. Either way, I've talked at length for almost 15 minutes without playing the game. So, well, 10 minutes, because first 5 were just me stretching out and everything. So let's start the game, shall we? No, you can leave that off. I don't need vibration. Thank you. Okay, and we get to name our character as well. The default name is Surge, and I'm going to stick with the default name. I forget if you get to name all of the playable characters in this game, but there are a lot. And when I mean a lot, I mean a lot of playable characters in this game. Think Fire Emblem levels of playable characters, and you're in pretty much the right ballpark. But we'll get more into that when we actually recruit more of said playable characters. For now, we'll just keep our hero's name default, which is Surge. Get it, like the wave. They made a lot of like water and wave jokes in the turn of the millennium Squaresoft games. Like you'll see it pretty soon, but this game is going to feel a bit like deja vu if you were here for one specific other RPG we played early on in the stream's history and life cycle. If you didn't, well, welcome in. It's been a while since I played it, to be fair. So we will see how this one plays out. Now, the intro to this game is a little bit unique. The character on the left side of our three-man group here, this one, talking, Nikki, is actually randomized from the pool of available playable characters. You get a different one each save file you start up with. Apparently this time I got Nikki, so that's cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I figure. We're in the microphone tower. It's got to be pretty important. Is it a Kingdoms of Amalur reckoning, or... Boy, I hope not. Are we supposed to be the good guys? Good guys don't usually do evil laughs like that. Just saying. Alright, well, anyway, we gotta go confront this Lynx character with two teenagers and a rock star wearing a belt for a necklace. So, okay, fair enough. Let's do it. Somehow I'm a little bit unenthusiastic about it, but it might just be because of the fact that I'm not used to teenagers saving the world again. I don't know. I mean, I guess they did it in Final Fantasy II, but they looked a little more realistic when they did it. So, I mean, we could just jump down. We're JRPG protagonists. We'll survive the fall. But no, we got to go around, so. Am I doing another file to get all of the team members? Probably not. I'm probably only going to do one playthrough. I'm planning on doing a bonus episode where we get another ending, but I'm not going to do multiple playthroughs. Like, H.C. Bailey did like 3 playthroughs of the game to get a whole bunch of different characters based on the decisions, but I'm probably not going to do that. I'm probably just going to do one file, so. Serge or Sergey? It's Serge. I call him Serge. I mean, it could be Sergey, but I don't know. When I see Sergey, I think of, like, EI, you know? Did I do Radical Dreamers? I have not played Radical Dreamers, actually. I believe this game had a re-release, remaster or something like that, called the Radical Dreamers Edition recently, though. I think I looked up some footage of it, and I wasn't really impressed at what I saw, but I think that version includes the Radical Dreamers sub-story, sidequel? I don't really know how it relates to Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross itself, but I have not played it. I have not seen any footage of it, so I couldn't really tell you one way or the other, so... Nicki Minaj. Remember resetting and seeing how many different randoms you could cycle through? I think it's a pretty large amount. I don't think it's limited in terms of like who in the cast could be there or not. But, oh wow, I actually dodged that golem. That's what you get for not having your hitbox being all your pixels, big guy. Oh, it's a visual novel with choices? Oh, nice. Okay, well that's a different take on this whole thing, but hey, you know, this game is different in certain ways than Chrono Trigger itself, so like, you know, it's all good. I don't think there's any treasure around here that we can grab. This sequence is, in case it doesn't feel in medias res, this sequence is in medias res. As you can see by us having over 200 HP to start the game when there's only room for 3 digits, we're doing this later than the beginning of the story. So, basically, all you really need to know for now is that there are 3 different types of attacks, level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 3 is the strongest, but has the lowest accuracy. However, if you start with a light attack, you'll increase the accuracy of your other attacks, so then you can do a medium and then a heavy. And ideally, you wouldn't miss the heavy on an 87% hit chance, but as we all know, this was the era of Final Fantasy Tactics anyway, so, you know, that could happen. You could also use elements after using your physical attacks. Basically, each level of element, you build up a level of element power. We can talk more about that a little bit later. It's not really particularly important for right now. But I guess I might as well just use attack since they dodged my last hit. Let's dash and slash. Eat this. All right, that takes care of that. So then you can just kind of go in order. Enemy turn order doesn't seem to be particularly like... I don't really know the exact way that enemy turn order works in this game. Oh yeah, we can actually switch the camera from normal to dynamic, so let's do that real quick as well. Apparently Nikki uses a guitar for a weapon. I suppose sound can be pretty effective against enemies that primarily move around using sound. So, fair enough, we brought the right person in here. Oh yeah, and I kind of just glossed over that real quick there, but if we get into another battle, I'll talk about how after-battle results work. I don't know if we will get into another battle before we finish this sequence out, but we might. So we'll talk about it when we get there. Sort of, like I said, glossed over the end-of-battle results. Don't worry about any stat boosts that you get for right now, though. They're not really too important. I mean, they never really are. This game's pretty easy, but, like, don't worry about them. That's the point. So now we gotta recruit Nikki to make this canonical. Yeah, something like that. Kind of like Xenogears, it has small, medium, and large attacks. Yeah, so I think a lot of, like, ideas in Squaresoft RPGs around the end of the 90s and the beginning of the 2000s were pretty similar. It's fine, you know, like, you might as well do the same. I mean, if you're gonna, like, iterate on it a little bit, that's cool, you know, then you've already got the systems. You're just changing things up to make them more polished, which is, you know, that's all fine and good. Okay, we got Cybots. I'm probably just going to leave the camera on dynamic. Sometimes just leaving it on normal just feels pretty static, so like I think it's better on dynamic, so we'll just do that. So usually you do a 1, a 2, a 3, and, well, the enemies have a tendency, at least for now, to try to attack you after about 6 stamina being used. So there's a stamina bar down at the bottom there. It's a 7 to start with, so you can do a 1, a 2, a 3 attack, and then an element strike, and then you'll be out 6 stamina. So then you have to wait for your turn again in order to do that. But you can use your other 2 characters. Every time they attack, your character that's out will recharge stamina based on the level that they use. So like there, Surge just recharged 6 stamina because Kid used 6 levels worth of attacks. So that sort of helps him recharge. So the game sort of keeps itself moving, effectively, depending on how you do all that. Are you guys yellow element? Yes you are. Arrow Saucer it is. Eat this. Okay, well, it didn't kill, but it did some good damage. The way that elements work in this game, we'll get more into it a little bit later, but these Cybots are yellow element. So they are just opposed in a binary way. So yellow is opposed to green, yellow's good against green, and vice versa. Red and blue are opposed, so they're good against each other, and white and black elements are good against each other, and vice versa. We don't have to worry about what we had to worry about in Skies of Arcadia, where we just sort of, like, we couldn't, like, okay, well, this is good against this, but it's only good against this, it only does 10% more damage against this. You don't gotta worry about that anymore, you just... Like this element it does 40% more damage. No, that's not how this game works. It's just like, hey, are you an opposing element? You do 50% more damage. I think it's 50% anyway. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what it is. So yeah, these little stat boosts you're getting at the beginning, don't worry about that. It's fine. At the end of each battle, though, the game asks if you want to heal yourself based on the things that you have available. You have consumables, and then you have healing spells. If you've got element power left at the end of a fight, you can actually use the healing spells that you have left available in order to max out your HP, or at the very least heal yourself without having to worry about it too much. So like right there, Kid had 2 element power left over, so she healed Nikki to full HP with one of her cure spells. It's actually kind of a nice system. It keeps the game kind of moving at a decent clip without you having to worry too much about it, you know? So you don't have to go into the menus and potion up or any of that sort of stuff if you have the right materials. And that's kind of nice, actually. We actually do have some multiple choice for recruiting characters. Is it up to a vote? I have a plan about how I'd like to play the game, so I don't know if I'll leave it up to a vote. I gotta figure that part out yet. I don't think we're... Like, the way the game's story works, there's a way that I prefer it, and I don't know if I want to change that yet. We'll see. I'll just say we'll see. I won't say for certain yes or no yet, but we'll see. Well, we stepped on a rune circle, so it kind of looks like a teleporter. We teleported up to the pop filter. Something like that. I mean, it probably did. We probably got teleported. I mean, I guess so. What do you mean? I mean, I don't remember how we got here, to be fair, so maybe that's why I'm acting weird, but, like, you know. We're here now, so we might as well confront whoever this big bad is. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe the big bad is this chick with the blonde hair in my party, Kid. I think that was what her name was. I think they already said who she is. They didn't. That's her name, so. I was going to say, Serge, you going to open the door, buddy, or... Oh, I think the door's going to open me. Holy shit! Well, if she was the big bad, she's dead now. I think. Unless that was a premonition. And judging by the fact that I'm being called by probably my mother right now, I get the feeling that was a horrible nightmare. Yes, and all of that craziness was all a dream. The battle system and everything. No, the battle system works like that through the rest of the game, but we were sleeping. So whatever that was, it's probably just my brain dealing with some sort of stress. Alright, Surge, rise and shine. Start of a brand new day in Summertime Vibes, the video game. The setting of this game just, I don't know, it speaks to me on a level in terms of like the way that it's set up in an archipelago. I'm looking for something, by the way, in case you're wondering why I'm like running around all over the place. Okay, no, I don't need the shades down. You can put them back up, Surge. Hold on, how do I do that? There we go. Cool. Is it under his bed? Yeah, okay, that's what I'm looking for. I have a secret stash under my bed, 200 gold. No, I'm good. I just woke up. I don't need to go back to bed. Somebody's already yelling at me to get back up, so. I forget if there's anything over here, too. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, we got a tablet as well. Tablets are consumable items. They'll heal your HP, but you equip them a little bit differently from items in typical RPGs, so we'll talk about it later. Ah, yes, our mother is a cat woman, just like Chrono's mother. Marge. Fair enough. It's already high noon. Well, I can't meet with her this morning anymore if it's already noon. Great. I mean, she's already pretty scary, to be fair, by default, so maybe you're right. Maybe I should go and take care of business. So, it was all a dream. Good morning, Chrono. Something younger you didn't grasp. Kid is quite Australian. Yeah, there's a lot of accents in this game, and I'll talk about that a little bit because they actually did something with the way that the game's script is set up it's interesting. I don't know if it works very well, but it's pretty interesting. Not to ruin the vibes, but Serge must get so many mosquitoes in his room. It depends too, because I remember when I was in Florida, my uncle lived near Satellite Beach, and because he lived close to the ocean, the salt kind of like killed everything in the air, so he didn't get a whole lot of bugs where he was. Maybe it was just where he was, I don't know, but like the impression that I got was the closer to the ocean you got, and it depends too, because if it's fresh water, you're gonna get lots of bugs, but salt water, I'm not so sure. It's a big sawfish. Wow. Well, I mean, imagine how big the fish that want to actually kill you are down there. And I gotta imagine that that's a reason why no one would want to go down there. That's crazy, man. No, nothing even remotely that big. Wonder where the Dragon King Palace is. I mean, honestly, something of that size, it looks like a king swordfish, so where would a king live but in a palace, you know? Sure, why not? Let's appease this guy. I mean, you caught a Mausolea Marlin, basically, so, like, I would... Okay, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, man. I get the feeling you're in Never Never Land right now. That's all good. And for talking to this guy, we get a Komodo scale. I don't know why we need that just yet, but sure, I'll take it. But let's go explore around the village some more before we talk about why we need a Komodo scale in the first place. So, Lena came over. Gotta get to the Millennial Luau, yeah, something like that. Gotta go play some mini games right at the beginning. Yeah, I just like the vibes of the beginning of Chrono Cross. Arnie Village is just really comfy. It's just kind of cozy up over by the sea. There's nothing really going on. It's just kind of nice. It just harkens back to simpler days, you know what I mean? I guess I'm getting old because I'm saying something like harkens back to simpler days, but like, it just reminds me of times that where I've been in Florida in places similar to this, where it's just like, yeah, no, there's nothing to think about, there's nothing to do, you just sit by the beach all day. I mean, obviously, you gotta go fishing so that you can sustain the village, but that's adult work. I'm a child in this game, it's fine. We don't have to think about that sort of stuff. Wonder what kind of outsiders they're talking about. Well, we'll figure that out later. For now, we don't have any business in Fossil Valley, so... Elements, huh? Elements are the spells of the game, so that's where you can buy them. Here, you can also buy weapons or armor from this person, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's there, but I don't remember if they have anything new. I don't think there's anything in particular that I want to buy from them, though. I guess you could buy, like, a cure spell or a fireball. Apparently, I can get the flu in this game. And, I mean, poison is poison, so we'll worry about that stuff later, though. I don't think we particularly need that for right now. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you mean? I live here. Oh, okay. There's evil dwarves and a hydra? Okay, maybe things aren't as peaceful as I thought. Alright, sure. I'll go talk to the chief. Why not? What's that? So, okay, so you guys... Who in this village at the moment is strong enough to actually go out and kill a Komodo, though, other than me? Like, and also, isn't that like... I get the feeling that going out and killing a Komodo just isn't going to be good for the environment. Like, how many... You're doing it for a necklace. Like, come on now. Oh, boy. You sure are, kid, but thankfully I can fix your fix. If you press the square button in front of an NPC, you can pull up your key items, and you can actually take out the Komodo scale that we just got and give it to the kid. So, I mean, I was gonna say, it's as real as the guy who gave it to me, so I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't think this kid's gonna have 1,000 gold. Here, have it. I don't need it, so. It's all good. And he'll give you an element, uplift, for doing so. Who's Poshul? Well, we'll find out who Poshul is soon, but apparently if we want Poshul to have their favorite food, we're gonna need to find Hecarim Bone. Oh, okay, well, I'll have to keep that in mind, won't I? It wasn't intentional, trust me. I was just embracing death practice by sleeping for too long. My brother calls sleep death practice. So there you go. Did you get to see what key items like the scale look like in your menu? Yes, you do actually. Yeah, there's some nice item art in there. I probably should have looked at that beforehand, but I think we'll be able to look at that in a little bit. So, you scale scalper, you? Yeah, we could have sold it to that kid, but something tells me the kids around here don't have 1,000 gold just hanging around. Uh-huh. What does that even mean? Like, what? You know, you're a little misogynist. You know that? Okay. Anyway, let me get the hell away from that person. I don't even know what his deal is. He's got a portrait though, so he's got to be pretty important. Is there an item here? No. I think it's somewhere around here though. Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say, well, that would cause some emotional damage, yes. I mean, listen, these are house cats. There's a difference. Yeah, there's quite a few little items to find around Arnie Village, so I'm just gonna take a look. I don't think the game doesn't really give you any indication of where these things are, though. So, like, oh, there we go. Oh, good. The resident pooch has a lisp. That's great. That's gonna be really helpful. I think it might be in this bucket, though. Actually, yeah, there we go. We get a photon ray element in this bucket, so that's cool. And there's Lena down by the pier, so let's head that way before she bites my head off. Metaphorically speaking, of course, there's no cannibalism in this village. Why would you even ask that? Can post the scales art in the Discord. Yeah, you can if you want to do that, sure. That's all good. We'll, like I said, we'll show it when we get another one, but yeah, you can show it in the Discord if you want. Oh, okay. I mean, aren't they the fishing boats? Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't know what you did, Serge, but you really shouldn't be messing with the lifeblood of the village like that. Just saying. Well, it looks like the kids are having fun, at least, out here. Oh, sorry for waking you, man. Yeah, I get it. I doze off in the middle of the afternoon, too, sometimes. I sure do like the sea. It's kind of hard not to when you live out here. Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, I imagine we've gotten some pretty rough weather around here living right on the coast. I don't think I want to hear that. That would give me nightmares, actually. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I'm not really worried about that for right now because I'm not going fishing. I'm talking to, apparently, the girl that Serge likes. Yeah, guilty. Oh, I did? Okay, so apparently I get to go commit genocide now. That's just great. Right at the beginning of the RPG, too. Damn, I can't escape it. Yeah, she's working. She earns money every time she watches you. Are you sure you don't want to go for a dip? The water does look pretty warm. Well, yeah, I mean, we were all kids once. Are you waxing poetic in your teen age, Lena? Oh. Oh, okay. We're gonna live in the moment for our material possessions. Yes, that sounds like an awesome idea. So yes, your girlfriend has given you your first quest. She has commissioned you to go and commit genocide on the Komodos at Lizard Rock and get some Komodo scales in order to create a necklace for her. And if a woman that you like tells you to commit genocide, normally you tell her, "What are you, out of your mind?" But this is a JRPG, so of course Serge will do that, and he will catch up with her at Opasa Beach. So, sure, no problem. Let's not get her angry, because she will roll over me like the sea. So sure, no problem. Yes, ma'am. If you had the one, by the way, that the guy gave you from the Mausoleum Marlin over there, I don't think that counts towards your 3 scale limit that you need. For Lena. Excuse me. As far as I know, you just have to go collect 3 at Lizard Rock, so... Let's go prepare for our journey by wandering around the other houses first. Hey Marie, how you doing? Welcome back. Greetings, you had 4 straight hours of calls because of that Windows outage earlier. Oh, there was a Windows outage earlier? I didn't know about that. Interesting. Well, that's just great. I'll try not to be mean to your Celine. I didn't know you named her. Hey, we're playing Chrono Cross, Marie. Just, working on the sequel to Chrono Trigger. She's a tiny little Komodo. Okay. Well, I don't know, but, well, see if he makes it into a nice necklace for you. Yeah, apparently. That's what I said. It seems pretty silly, huh? But if Lena gets mad at me, she'll throw me in the ocean. So, yes, that's right. Uh-huh. Oh, you're the expert. Okay. How do you know what top secret even is? Okay, so these are your 3 hints as to how to trap the baby Komodo dragons so that you can murder them at Lizard Rock. This game is getting darker by the minute. I want my cozy seaside back. What the hell? Yeah, so there's a rock that you can use. You can use the layout of the map to surprise the enemy. And then play tag with the 3rd one. Okay. I'll try to be gutsy about it then. Sure. Oh boy. You're really into this stuff, aren't you? Alright, pardon me, Celine and young lady. I'm going for the rest of the house. Well, I'm actually not going to go to the basement. There is something you can do in the basement, but we're going to save that for a bonus episode. I have a plan for what is in the basement of this house, and I might as well not do it if I'm not actually going to use it for anything until the bonus episode, you know? So. Oh. Yeah, well, you know how it goes with kids. Of course, I'm about to go be a kid, too, because I'm going to go kill some of the suckers, which obviously means Mom's going to come out, and she's going to be pissed. We'll worry about that later. For now, let's go to the bar. Vix takes around half an hour, and the calls are coming in non-stop. Oh, Jesus. Only free because you're taking your lunch. Fair enough. Well, hopefully you get to, you know, relax a little on your lunch break so that they don't, like, call you back early or something. That would be not so good. Y2K came 24 years late. Yeah, something like that. They were concerned about it at this point. Mickey, huh? Sounds like someone else I know from a premonition. Yeah, of course you are. Oh my god. Well, apparently there was a festival that was going to go on, kind of like the Millennial Fair in Chrono Trigger, but apparently the Viper Festival is getting canceled. So, an army from Poor? Was there a standing army in Poor back in Chrono Trigger? How long after Chrono Trigger does this take place? Well, actually, I know, but, like, I don't think they tell you just yet, so... Nope. I have not. No, I definitely have not, because even at the time that this game released, I don't think that had... If they're talking about the Radical Dreamers, that game didn't have an English release at this time, I don't think. So... Really? Huh. Wow. Better be careful around these parts. Ideally, we won't go too far north. Hello, Hekron. Sure, I guess. Ah, the poet, yes. I forgot about her. Are you the one that wrote the book at the beginning of the game in the intro, or... Okay, well, fair enough. Well, so what? Just save some of the money while you're here, and then take a vacation. If he ever lets you go. Yeah, alright. Does the chef have anything to say? Can I go behind the bar? Not from here. Maybe from over here? Oh, hang on. There we go. Now I can go behind the bar. I have not, actually. Yeah, so the Record of Fate is your save points of the game. These little green pyramids. We haven't seen one yet. There is one in the Elder's house on the west side of the village, though, so we'll be going that way in a minute. So. Really? Yeah, it actually is true, because the Record of Fate can provide you with a hint as to where to go next, if I remember correctly. I actually really like the Record of Fate for reasons that I can't really talk about until probably the last stream of the game, so... Yeah, I know that's what you said, but most barrels don't say, no answer, I'm just a barrel in a text box. Thank you. Yeah, so the barrel will give you an uplift element. So if you didn't get one previously, you can get one now. Oh, there's a door there. Didn't see the door, my bad. Hatsune Miki? Yes, chef. Yes, something like that. I barely even know who Hatsune Miku is to even know what you're talking about there, but apparently I know enough to know. Hey, Hekron, you got any, fancy stuff in here? An ivory helmet! Thanks, buddy. That's real helpful. Yeah, the Hekron will actually follow you around the house after you talk to it, so that's cool. And down here is a Hekron bone. You don't mind if I take this, do you? I'm gonna take that as a yes. Actually, a no. Never mind. That would mean he would mind. So no, I'm gonna take that as a no. He doesn't mind. So. I kind of wish the Hekron followed you to different screens, though. Like, it'll only follow you around the house once you talk to it just on that screen, but maybe that was more than the PS1 can handle. I don't know. Anyway, we haven't gone to the west side of the village yet, so let's go that way. She's a musical program. They turned into a hologram. Okay. Fair enough. I barely know what all of that means, but fair enough. It's like some kind of a J-pop thing, if I remember correctly, but I don't. I'm way behind on all that stuff. It just isn't. It doesn't even register in my brain. Elder Radius, how are you? The fundamentals of attack and the art of elements. Well, I could probably use a lesson. I mean, I've got to go out of the village in a minute, so sure. Okay. Whoa! What do you mean get on with it? I thought I was joining the lecture. I wasn't going to start a fight. Alright, fair enough. We got to fight the Elder. With our ore. No. Surge uses a twin blade as a weapon. I didn't mention it in the intro, but he uses a twin blade as a weapon. They're called swallows in this game. I think it was because they're like... They resemble the wings of a swallow, I think was the justification. I mean, it's a twin blade, but whatever you want to call it, it's fine. So, there you go. Oh, they turned off dynamic camera. Okay. So, Radius here will kind of talk to you about the gist of fighting. But I've already kind of given you some ideas there. So you have small, medium, and large attack, and they have different hit values. Your weakest attacks have the most accuracy, so you want to use those first, ideally, in order to build the accuracy of your stronger attacks. So use like a 1 or a 2, before you do a 3. And that will let you build up your, your accuracy on your stronger attacks so that you can, well, use them. So we'll do a little poke. And you actually cannot get your hit percentage to 100% outside of using a buff in this game. It'll only ever get to 99% without the buff. So we'll worry about that later. For now, it's not a big deal. But apparently he's got pretty good accuracy for right now, so that's cool. Do I risk a 2-2-3? I'll risk a 2-2-3. Why not? There we go. So then he'll tell you how elements work, and there's a field effect in the top left-hand corner there. Every time you cast an element, it changes the field effect. I believe it affects the inside element first, so that yellow that's in the middle there, that will pulse outward, the green will pulse outward, and the blue will go away. And whatever element is used after that is going to change the element of the... Yeah, so there you go. So you see how it moved the blue that was on the outside ring of the field effect out, and it put the blue in the middle there? So the last 3 elements that were used will move as they go. So, but apparently he wants me to use a blue element, so I'll just use this cure spell that I've got equipped. Why not? Might as well put on a good demonstration if I'm going to be used as a guinea pig here. Okay, so anyway, he's going to tell you about how you build up element power now. Like I said before, every attack that you do builds up element power equal to its level. So if you use a level 1 attack, you'll build up 1 level of element power. So you'll keep going as long as you hit the opponent. And then you can use your elemental power once you've built it up. So generally speaking, you want to use attack options in the beginning of the fight, and then you can use your elements once you've used attack options. With that being said, magic isn't nearly as powerful in this game as it is in, say, Final Fantasy II, so usually physical attacks are enough to get the job done, but there will be times where we'll want to use some elements, especially once we get access to some personal skills, which are later on in the game, so... Now, Radius is trying to do something here, where he's trying to switch the field effect so that the field is entirely blue. If you turn the entire field one color, it actually increases the damage of that element specifically. He's not talking about it right now, he's talking about consumable elements, which are the items of the game. So like your tablets and all of that stuff, you have to equip them in the same slots that your magic goes in this game. And each of them has a number, so that the number of them that are there are the number of them that are equipped in that slot. So if you have a ×5, you have 5 tablets in that one slot. So there you go. There's also, basically, when you build up your element power, we haven't really talked too much about it, but when you put in, you can actually put your skills, your elements, into element slots at different levels. So I'll talk about the plus and minus later because that's really asinine, but it's fine. Not really something we have to worry about for right now. But basically, you can slot in your elements into element slots. They're at like level 1, 2, 3. It goes all the way up to level 8 later on once you get access to level 8 elements. But you slot them in, and then you can use them as you build up your element power. So for instance, if you build up 1 level element power, you can use a level 1 element. Elements always use 7 stamina, though, when you use them, so you gotta be a little careful when you use them. Because if you use them, you'll definitely 100% be out of stamina. At the very least, you'll be at 0. At the most, you'll be out -6, so. Vocaloid, the music program Miku is 20 years old now. Oh, okay, gotcha. So, like, maybe that's why I know about it a little bit. Like, I know the name, because I wouldn't have known anything about it from like the last 10 or 15 years, but maybe that's why I know the name of it, because it was something that was actually talked about on the internet even back when I first started playing games for the internet. I don't know. Ramu, is that you? Never really paid attention to the field effects back then, at least not until the summons. Yeah. So that's actually something we can talk about. You'll see a star underneath where it says field effect now there. That's actually used to summon later on in the game. There are summon spells in this game that you can use, and you can only use them when the field is entirely the color of the summon. It makes it so that summons don't get used particularly often, but, you know, we can talk about that later. There are reasons to use summons, but we'll worry about that when we actually get to that point. Do I have any other elements? I have a tablet. I don't really need that, so I just poke them again. Yeah, so if anybody uses a blue element attack, like, for example, Radius is about to murder me with this Aqua Ball, it will do a lot more damage. Case in point, I'm dead. Taco Bell ring. Yeah, and it also weakens the effect of red elements, which are the opposing colors. So like I said, red and blue are opposing, yellow and green are opposing, white and black are opposing. Thankfully, Radius is not a dickhead, and he has revived me so that we can fight another day, I guess? I mean, I'm just kind of hanging out here at this point, but, you know. Excuse me. And that's the gist of the battle tutorial. He still kicks your ass, as you can plainly see, because he did 72 damage with a single attack there, whereas he was holding back previously. Even with fierce attacks, he was only doing single digits. But don't worry about it, because you come back, as far as I'm aware, at full HP after this, so. But yeah, Radius is pretty strong. We might have to keep that in mind for later on in the game. He might make a pretty valuable party member if we can ever recruit him. But yeah, so as you can see, you come back with full HP, so it's not a big deal. Poshul! Hey there. Are ya? Okay. Well, are you busy if I give you a Hekron bone? Listen, if I'm gonna go out and commit genocide on a bunch of lizards for my girlfriend, I'm gonna need a little help. A hunting dog, if you will. Sure. How did you know this was my favorite? It's a bone. You're a dog. Well, fair enough. As long as you can help me fight. I don't know what this Pretty Miracle Power X stuff is, but sure. As long as you can help me fight, we'll be good. So we get our first party member of the game. Poshul, the Wonder Dog. And yeah, they use the party member get sound effects for gaining a party member in this game, just like they did in Chrono Trigger, so there you go. You can also change the name of your party members once you recruit them, but yeah, we'll just leave them default, that's fine. So, but yeah, so now Poshul will follow us around while we wander around the rest of the village. There's not a whole lot else going on, but you know. We'll be back from our adventures later, trust me. Oh, hang on, I remember there's something in this barrel, though. Is it this barrel? Yeah, it is this barrel. An aqua bean. We probably won't need that because we're going towards the ocean, but hey, it's there in case. So. Revives you just to kill you twice over, yeah, pretty much. We gave the dog a bone. For moi? It's Lucca's theme from Chrono Trigger, yep. There you go. So they actually used some of the themes from Chrono Trigger for different uses in this one. I don't remember if anybody else gets any leitmotif going on, though, or like recurring theme. I think it might just be Lucca. I could be wrong about that, but I don't know, maybe. I mean, I guess it makes sense for reasons I can't talk about yet, but... Oop, sorry, I bumped the mic stand. The Great Explorer Toma, huh? I'm sure you were. Anyway, let's head into the Elder's house so we can take a look at the Record of Fate, maybe save or something. Is this the line for the Record of Fate, or... Yes, it is. Yeah, that sounds like a terrible existential fate to have to worry about. I don't know what I would do if I had to worry about that in a world like this, but... Oh, damn, that's not good. Huh. This is one of the reasons why I like the Record of Fate, because you don't really think about, like, oh, it's just a save point in most other video games, right? But the Record of Fate has a purpose not only to you, but also to the rest of the people in the world. And it's kind of existential dread incarnate, honestly, which is kind of interesting. It's not really something you'd expect out of a save point. You'd think everybody would be like, oh, cool, a save point. I can come back from the dead if I die. I just go back in time, but, like... Here, it's like, well, it tells me everything that I'm supposed to do. And everything that I did previously. And I don't know, I find that kind of interesting. It's just not what you'd expect, so. Yeah, get in line, Cutter. The save point's an ATM machine. They sure love Lucca. Boy, I wonder why. You know, other than the fact that he beats me to death whenever he needs a puppet for his... tutorials, but fair enough. If I remember correctly, there's an element around here. Yeah, there it is, a cure behind this frame. And I think this is the last person to talk to. Yeah, quite a lot. He already beat my ass twice today. He definitely will. Was there anything else? I don't think there's anything. Oh no, there's another NPC. Person called Ash. Well, no, actually, I think I remember right. Ash and Toma are... Yeah, are the people here. They must be from outside of the archipelago. Like I said, this whole game takes place on an island archipelago. Apparently, if I remember correctly, on the Chrono Trigger world map, the Nido archipelago is... I think it's called the Nido archipelago, anyway. Is southeast of Por? Something like that. I think it's between Por and Termina, if I remember right. So I don't know if that's southeast, actually. It might be northeast. I don't remember if it was visible on the world map in Chrono Trigger, though. It might be and it might not be. Either way, before we go, let's equip our party so that we're in good shape here. Let's allocate some elements to everybody so that we can go from there. We've got some tablets. That's extra tablets that we've got right there, so that's fine. And then you've got a cure here. I think the only thing we might want to get is a fireball, honestly, so maybe we'll buy a fireball spell so that we can stick that there. Poshul, incidentally, is a yellow element character. So the thing about yellow element or any element character is if you give them a spell of the same element as their, well, innate element, I think if I remember right, it increases in damage. So we'll give Poshul an uplift so that she can use it effectively. Although it might be a good idea to give her the other cure actually here and then give her an uplift here. So by that same logic, it's probably also a good idea to give Surge a Photon Ray right here, and then we can go from there. So I guess we don't even need the Fireball. Fair enough. I mean, Fireball will come in handy. All the enemies we're about to go fight are blue element, and that would give us a leg up, but I don't know. As for the Ivory Helmet, we can actually equip it in here if we go down to the accessories. So we'll give that to Surge, why not? Gives a little extra defense. The blue, normally blue indicates like a... I don't know, when I see blue like that in an RPG, I'm thinking, oh, that's good, but actually in this game, that's bad. Red means the numbers are going up, blue means the numbers are going down, so. But yeah, you only have one weapon slot and one armor slot in this game. I think if I remember right, Chrono Trigger had a helmet slot and a body armor slot, and then one accessory slot, so. It's a little bit different from how it was. You don't need a helmet in this game, but I usually like wearing one just because it's very similar to Chrono Trigger that way, I guess. So, do I need to customize anything while I'm here? I guess we could stick it on Memorize. Accuracy selection. I'll do manual. That's fine. And why don't we just stick that on Walk, honestly, because then that's fine. Okay, there we go. I don't mind running around. If I want to walk somewhere, I'll just hold down the circle button. So because of that, I don't know if we need to buy any elements. I mean, we could get a fireball, I guess, but nah, it's fine. Let's just head out. Yeah, remember that for later, viewer. I'm the one viewer. I must remember it. Radius isn't a Bourne Island local. Yeah, no, he's also from outside of this area. I don't remember where he came from, though, but I think it's within the archipelago. I could be wrong, though. Blue bad, red radical, red rad, there you go. Now we're thinking. Alright, so we need to go down here to Lizard Rock. We actually can't get to Opasa Beach until we go through Lizard Rock for right now. But before we go there, I actually want to make a quick pit stop at Cape Howell. I think there's a couple of treasures here, if I remember correctly. Nothing in particular that I need, but I might as well grab it while I'm here, you know. There's a heal element. I forget how you get up to that one there. I mean, I guess we can get into a fight or two if we want to here, but... Oh, that's how you get up here. Whoa! Ah, yes, the water spout. It prevented me from moving along. I will wait for it to go away, and then we'll go. There we go. A bone. So, those are materials that you can use for weapon and armor synthesis later on in the game. I'm not too concerned about that for right now, though. Alright, we're getting into a fight, so let's do it. The environment art for this game is pretty rad, colorful, and detailed. Yeah, honestly, I think it still holds up, even to this day. Like, I mean, obviously there's a more high-resolution version of it now with the remaster version, but I don't know. Playing it on 3x native resolution on the PS1 doesn't really do too bad either, I don't think. So yeah, like I said, all the enemies around here, blue element. So if you have Fireball, it's probably not a bad idea to use it, but we're fine. We can just poke and then go from there. See how it all works. Physical attacks should be pretty good, all things considered for right now. Should be, being the key word. There we go. Just do a little bit, and then Poshul, beat them up. Okay, that takes care of you. Enemies will sometimes interrupt you when you are attacking like that. Now, here's what happens here. You'll notice that now we're switching targets, so it's a little bit different. But basically, if Poshul had been attacking this sand squirt, and then after attacking the sand squirt then hit Poshul, or any other enemy hit Poshul, Poshul's accuracy would be reset when Poshul got their turn back. So, like, if Surge attacks here and then one of the sand squirts hits him, his accuracy, any accuracy buffs that he got from attacking would be gone. So you gotta be a little careful sometimes when the enemies interrupt you. It's not always the best thing to have happen, so... Let's see if Photon Ray +2 will take care of this thing. It's at +2, by the way, because it's normally a level 1 element spell, but we put it on a level 3 element slot, so it gets a little more power because we put it in a higher slot. The magic system in this game is kind of bizarre, if I'm being honest. But it's fine, you know. Ooh, +2 HP for Poshul, not bad. Poshul's actually pretty tanky, all things considered. Got pretty good, and pretty good strength with HP to go with it as well, so that's not terrible. Resistance, by the way, is the defense stat in this game, and magic resistance is the, well, magic resistance stat, so there you go. I don't think inherent accuracy goes up very often, if ever, though, so I don't think that's something we need to worry too much about, but, you know. Yeah, see there, Poshul had a little bit of element power left, so Poshul actually healed Surge with the Cure spell to fix that up a little bit. Yeah, there's no levels, but there are stat gains, kind of like Final Fantasy II. Yeah, it's got stat gains, but if I remember correctly, the stat gains are completely random in this one. It's not like how, oh, okay, we'll use physical attacks in order to get better stat gains. I don't think that's a thing in this one, so. But the way that it works, though, I should mention this, is that the game wants you to fight a certain number of battles in between fighting each boss in the game. So, for example, we're fighting all these guys and we're getting, you know, little teeny tiny stat boosts, nothing particularly substantial for right now. But as we fight them and we get those little boosts, eventually all of a sudden you'll get a very large boost to a bunch of different stats. And it's radiant when it happens. I think it's usually in between like 5 and 9 battles between bosses. And then all of a sudden you'll just get a big chunk of HP, or you'll get a big chunk of other stats as well. At that point, the game is basically saying, okay, you fought enough random battles, go fight the next boss. Because every time you fight a boss, well, it'll change around your stats a little bit. We'll talk about it when we fight a boss, but for now, basically just fight the random battles until you see a big chunk of stats change. Once you see that happen, then you're good to go. You can go fight the boss. So after a certain point, you don't get those stat boosts anymore, though. So like you'll fight and you won't get any stat boosts. Once you get to the point where you're getting no stat boosts from doing a bunch of battles in a row, like I'd say maybe 2 or 3 battles in a row, if you don't get a stat boost, then you're done. You don't get any more. So I was going to say, did I erase my data from the old playthrough? I did a test playthrough of this a couple of years ago, but apparently I did in fact erase it, so there you go. Alright, either way, let's go to Lizard Rock and see what we can do about these, well, lizards. So, Komodos even. But before that, we got to push a rock out of the way and go beat up this bum. There's a treasure chest here. Get out of my way. I'm a big fan, by the way, of the soundtrack of this game. I think I mentioned it in the intro setup video that I posted on YouTube, but Yasunori Mitsuda returned to do a pretty decent chunk of the soundtrack in this one. And it's pretty solid. It's pretty damn fine work on his part, all things considered. So it gives the game its own identity, I think, which really helps it stand out. So, how about we do a 2 and then an uplift, maybe? Throw a rock at him, Poshul. Poshul's magic isn't particularly good, so this might not kill, but yeah, didn't think so. So, yeah, Poshul's more of a beat stick, honestly. Surge has got pretty good stats all the way around, but yeah, Poshul's more of a beat stick. You're mostly going to be using physical attacks, and then you can let Poshul use, like, healing magic in that case, because, well, it depends on your magic stats still, how much you heal, but, you know, so. Oh, it's a fantastic soundtrack. The battle theme gets old, though. Yeah, I think the battle theme kind of goes a little nuts at the beginning of it, and that can kind of get a little grating sometimes, so. Oh, well, there's the first one. So this is the first tip that he gave you, is push the rock. So let's push the rock so that the Komodo will run back into this cave, and then get stuck, and then we'll be able to corner it. Like a little rat! And then we can murder it for its scale. Poshul's completely optional, but having her takes a lot of damage off of Surge. Yeah, no more secret passage for you! But yeah, pretty much that's the gist of it, is Poshul's kind of there to be... She sort of soaks up a good chunk of the damage, because now it's not just one person with 50 or so HP having to take all the hits, it's 2 people with a combined, what is that, 117 HP to take the hits? That's pretty good. you're not going to really have to worry too much about that, you know. You don't have to heal after each fight. Are there other ones? Oh, there is another one. Okay. All right, bonk, and a bonk, and bonk, and a big bonk. Nice spinning bird kick, Poshul. It's more of a spinning dog headbutt, to be fair, but, you know. Alright, well, we're still gaining stats. I mean, Surge isn't gaining anything at the moment, but Poshul is, so that means we're still not at that point where the game's saying, hey, so, you know, you should probably go fight the boss. To be fair, we can't fight the boss anyway until we've killed 3 of the Komodos, so... let's see. We can go into the items now so we can take a look at... I think the Komodo scale is supposed to be here. Well, I guess not. Okay, well, there you go. It was supposed to be there, but we might not be able to... You know what, maybe we'll be able to see it once the necklace is made. We'll be able to see the Komodo scale necklace, so we'll see. Although, is it in here? No, it's not in here. Okay, fair enough. So... Oh, okay, well, there goes that one. Was there a treasure over here? I think if I remember correctly, you can grab that treasure if you push this rock next to this beach bum, so let's take a look. Of course, he brought all of his friends with him, but, you know, that's fine. So far, we're doing pretty good against all of them, so... I forget if the sand squirts have a specific... Like, I think if I remember right, enemies and allies, for that matter, have agility stats, and I forget if the enemies... Like, certain ones are faster, so it might be better to go after them first. Maybe. Okay, apparently I'm not going to get to finish my thought here. I guess I'll do a 1 and a 2 then, because then we might still actually get some damage off. There you go. Okay, and then... give him a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a... And then maybe a 2 and a photon ray. There we go. We could be using Fireball as well, because Fireball, if I remember correctly, pretty much one-shots these guys, but... I mean, so does Photon Ray after prior damage anyway, so, like, we're fine. I might equip a Fireball, though, just to have it, instead of a Photon Ray, maybe. Because Surge starts with a pretty solid chunk of magic. He's got 7 magic to start with. That's not bad at all. Yeah, okay, there you go. There is an agility stat. So Surge will go... well, it's not that he'll go first. If I remember correctly, agility affects your evasion stat, but it might also affect for enemies whether or not they interrupt you and in what order they interrupt you, so... I don't remember. I don't know as much about this game's stats as I do about Final Fantasy II's, to be fair. Alright, come on up, little treasure chest. Well, we bonked it, so it's gonna come up somewhere. Eventually. Just has to float to the top. And in here is a silver loop, another accessory. I don't remember what that one does. I think it gives you better accuracy, if I remember correctly, which is a really valuable piece of equipment at this point, actually. I mean, it's only 2% accuracy, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because you've got normally your hit is 85%, but it's pretty solid, all things considered. It will make it so that Surge, or whomever has it equipped, is quite a bit more accurate for a little while. Is that a treasure chest? No. Okay. I was gonna say, oh, thanks for getting out of my way so I can just walk up here without fighting another enemy, but apparently not. There we go. Nah, couldn't sneak around this one. That's okay. We're not quite at that threshold yet anyway, at least not as far as I know, so... We'll keep fighting until we get to that threshold. And the bonus stats that you get from fighting all these guys, it's not that critical that you get it, honestly. Like, if you get the bonus stats, that's cool, but, like, you'll be able to beat the game just by beating the bosses, so... I wouldn't worry too much about it. This one's not too hard of a game. Like, the hardest fight in the game is still pretty manageable, all things considered, so... I mean, you see how many regular physical attacks I'm using in this one, so, like... I know it's the beginning of the game, so that's kind of to be expected, but, like... I wouldn't worry too much, that's the point that I'm making. Oh, another thing that you'll notice, by the way, is that I lied earlier, actually. You'll notice that Poshul is not gaining 1 stamina for every attack that Surge does, as well. So Poshul's getting back, what would that be, 0.9 stamina per attack. I think, if I remember correctly, there's a stat associated with that, but it's different for different characters. Certain characters will get back 1 stamina per 1 stamina used by somebody else, but other characters may get back as little as, I think it's 0.7 or 0.8 is the lowest. I forget. Yeah, I'm not sure which stat affects that on this list. It might not be any of the stats on this list, actually. It might be some other stat that affects it that's not listed there. Because the only ones that are listed in battle are the ones that you can actually increase. So, okay, yeah, there we go. So stamina recovery is 10. So that means when they say 10, they mean 1.0. So every time somebody else attacks, Surge gets back 1.0 points of stamina. Whereas for Poshul gets back 0.9. So Poshul won't ever fully recover 7 stamina until you've used 8 attacks, or 8 levels worth of attacks. So, there you go. Alright, so we gotta time this right, so we jump down on top of the Komodo at just the right time, or else it'll run away. And then we'll have to do this again. Yeah, I was say, why don't you go up, man, while I do this, so that I can... Okay. Run back! Run back! I'm gonna move as soon as he moves, I'm gonna end up moving, and then we're just gonna crash into each other here, so that's not good, but no, there he goes. Knew that was gonna happen at one point or another. That guy likes to sneak back down here occasionally, so. Well, that's fine, we can kick their butts again, why not? I'm just kind of doing 1, 1, 2, 3 at this point, just because we really don't have any elements that are particularly necessary here, you know what I mean? Like, we could use Fireball, like I said previously, but it's not really something we need to do. So, we'll just attack for now. Attack is pretty good in this one. It's like anti-Final Fantasy VI. I played that one recently as well, actually, and yeah, I don't really ever use the attack command in Final Fantasy VI, not even on characters that normally use the attack command pretty often. Like, I can think of one exception where that's the case, but that's because I give them the Master Scroll and the fixed dice, so that's why I use the attack command. Alright, we didn't get anything out of that fight, so we might have hit the threshold already, but usually you get a big chunk of stats when you hit the threshold. It might be too early in the game to get that chunk of stats, though, so... And I don't think the enemies respawn in these areas when you, like, once you beat them, I think they're gone until later, so... Like, when you leave the screen and come back, that is. Oh, I jumped a little too early. And by leave the screen, I mean leave the area entirely and then come back, so... Because this one's not respawning, so... At the very least, that's good, because then I don't have to keep beating these guys over and over again when I mess this jump up inevitably. So. There we go. Got it. Gotta wait just a fraction of a second after he starts moving before you start the jump, so. And then just poke him until he falls over or he walks up and resets my accuracy. That's the most annoying thing, by the way, about the way this game's battle mechanics work, is that the enemies will reset your accuracy. It's not a huge deal, though, because if that's the most resistance the enemies are going to put up, then good. I'm glad they're at least putting up some amount of resistance. Like, otherwise, I'd just be beating everything to death, and that wouldn't be a whole lot of fun, now would it? I'm already making comments about how I don't like committing genocide, so... Yeah, sometimes it's not a bad idea to retain a little bit of element power at the end of a fight, because then you can heal yourself afterwards. There's the big stat boost. There we go. And actually, that's a really good stat boost as well, because Surge doesn't always get strength points from when he gets the actual level ups in this game. So getting an extra point of strength is really nice for him, specifically for Surge. And, I mean, it's because he's our main character. We want him to get as many stats as possible. But, yeah, Poshul getting HP and strength, that's a good one as well, so... But basically, once you see multiple stats go up like that, that's it, you're done. You'll still get item rewards and gold from beating enemies, but you won't get any more stat boosts. So once you've got the stat boosts, it's kind of in your best interest to just kind of say, okay, well, let's not fight anything else anymore. Let's just move to the boss of the area if possible. Now, granted, that's not always easy. Sometimes the boss is behind multiple screens worth of enemies, so it's a little hard to fight just the boss, but, you know, it's just something to let you know, hey, you've done enough, basically. So, and I can appreciate that they programmed that in. I think what I'm going to do is we have a photon ray in our level 3 slot right now, but I think I'm going to stick fireball in there for right now, so, excuse me. It's a +2, so it's pretty strong, but we'll try to use that in an emergency, basically. Pardon me, sir, I'm just going to take this from you. I can't believe he let me get away with that. I think there's a couple of other places that you can go here. I don't think you can go up there, though. No. But there is a hole over there, so we're going to have to go check out the hole in a minute. Ah, there's the Komodo. So it'll start running away, and basically you have to run after it in order to catch it. But for now, I'm doing other stuff, like wandering all over the place here and grabbing treasure instead. There's another bone. I think I mentioned it already, but those materials are used for basically weapon and armor synthesis later on in the game. For now, we don't have to worry about that, but we'll want to collect up a few items just so that we have them. So there's another ivory helmet that we can give to Poshel, so there you go. By the way, each of your party members they come equipped with an ivory mail, which actually reduces their evasion percentage. And I mean, evasion isn't as important in this game as it was in Final Fantasy II, but it's still a pretty powerful stat, so we're going to want to give them ivory vests instead in order to increase their evasion back to normal as soon as humanly possible. For now, we don't have access to those, but that's the plan. I'm planning on basically making vests instead of mails for basically everybody throughout the entire game. I just find that the little bit of extra evasion that they give is just more helpful than the defense. So, I mean, it's pretty nice when you don't take any damage from an attack, right? You can't really get that out of stacking defense in this game. The least damage you'll take is 1. So, if I can take 0, I'll try it, you know? But at least we're pretty much one-rounding these sand squirts for now, so that's not terrible. I'll take it, you know. Worry about the beach bum later. With the extra strength we got, we might actually be able to one-round the beach bums now, too. So that's pretty good. You know, after he smacks me over the top of the head. Alright, so we're going to need 2 cure elements in order to fully heal ourselves after this fight, so I guess just both of you keep your elements, your element power. I could have used a fireball, but nah, it's fine. Yeah, not a whole ton of strategy. I mean, it's the beginning of the game, but I don't really remember this game being too deep in terms of its strategy and battle, even all the way through. Physical attacks are just really solid all the way throughout, and elements are never not good to use. I mean, there's obviously some caveats with them because, like, you know, you could need them to heal yourself at the end of a fight, but they're usually pretty easy to just decide to use, you know. So, alright, so let's play tag with this one. Got to run a bit of a line here to not fall behind, but maybe cut a corner so we can catch it on the way through. And there we go. By the way, I would recommend for this particular fight, if this is your 3rd Komodo fight, I would recommend not using elements in this part. Just use your physical attacks like we've been to get rid of the Komodos themselves. There's a reason for that, but we'll talk about it in a minute. Alright, so see how this one attacked Poshel instead of Surge. So now Surge's accuracy has not been reset, which means he'll still have a 90% hit rate on that one right there. So there you go. But if they hit the person that's attacking, they lose their focus and they lose all of their accuracy bonuses that they get from building up. So it's just something to think about. Oh, I think Mama came back. She's a little pissed at my genocidal rampage. Justifiably so, but okay, well, anyway, we gotta fight Mama now. So there's the Mama Komodo. And now I get to murder her too. That's just great. Surge, what the hell, man? I know you're just doing this because Lena told you to do it, but Jesus Christ, like, have a little foresight, man. This is not okay. Yeah, that's right. You didn't build your whole thing up, so just do a little bit, and then Surge's got 6. By the way, it's like they said previously, you won't fully recharge your stamina if you miss. So, obviously it's a good idea to try to hit where possible. That seems pretty self-explanatory to me, but, you know. Oh, wow, the skybox. It has turned into darkness and night. Okay. Let's see if this fireball's enough. I don't know if it will be, but it might be pretty close. And then Poshul can finish it if not. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, not quite enough, but she's on her last legs. She's keeled over a little bit, so. Bonk. And that's enough. So you saw how our stamina returned to 7.0 there. That's how you know that you finished the fight, because it wouldn't normally do that in a normal fight. So there you go. And for defeating the Mama Komodo, Surge and his friends receive a new growth level. These are called star levels collectively by the community. I might also call these power stars just because for some weird reason I get this confused with Super Mario 64 in my brain for some weird... No, actually it's probably because of Super Mario RPG, not 64. But yeah, so if I say power star, I mean star level. So that's the gist of it. But when you get a star level, those are effectively the level ups of the game. So you'll get a bunch of stats out of getting the star level, and in this case, Surge got more strength, so that's great, and more magic, so that's also pretty great. And Poshul also got more strength. The extra HP obviously is pretty great for Poshul, but it's really a matter of, are they getting strength? If they're getting strength from these fights, these level ups, then you're probably in pretty good shape, so... Oh, and you'll also notice that our element grids are blinking a little bit there as well. So when you get a star level, your element grid changes. You might get an extra one in a certain level. So in this case, Poshul and Surge both got a second element slot at level 1. So now they can equip 2 level 1 elements in order to use them in fights. So there you go. And with that, we have all 3 of the Komodo scales. Poshushu. That's Poshul's battle cry, I would guess. Something like that. She says it quite a lot. That's the point here. Alright, so we gotta go to Opasa Beach now that we have all the Komodo scales. So there you go. And this is where this goes, so if we had gone to the left here, we would loop around to the little track that we get to run across in order to find and defeat that last Komodo. Well, it doesn't have to be the last one. Basically what happens is the Mama Komodo comes out on the 3rd Komodo fight. It doesn't matter which one you kill last, she'll always come out on the last one, so there you go. And with that, we have made it to Opasa Beach. But now that we've actually finished Lizard Rock as a dungeon, we can walk right through it on the world map, so we don't have to just go back through the whole thing in order to get out of the world map. So like we could just go back to Arnie Village if we so choose, if you didn't go up into Cape Howell, or if you really want to go to the Hydra Marshes all the way over here, which you could, to be fair. I don't know why you would, but you could. I think there might be a couple of items there, but I'm not really super concerned about them. There is one other secret location available on the map right now, but we've been told to go to Opasa Beach, so let's just save and then go to Opasa Beach. Like, I feel like that's probably for the best. Do I want to switch back to Photon Ray? Well, we've got an extra slot now, so I could probably stick, like, antidotes or something in there. What does heal do again? Small HP restoration. Okay, I mean, yeah, why not? I'll stick that there. And then, yeah, we'll just stick Photon Ray there for now. We'll have somebody else who can equip Fireball later, so I'm not really super concerned about that, you know. So, alright, let's make a save. And yeah, there you go. So then those little sayings, the little phrases below the name of the area that you're in are supposed to be the Record of Fate's little hints as to where to go. It's kind of more of just a description of the area you've been in most of the time, though. So, or the mission that you're currently on, you know. So, all right, down to Opasa Beach. All right, come on, Poshul. Let's see if Lena's here or if we're gonna be waiting for her. Looks like she's making her way, so. Ah, what's going on? No, we just got here, so. She decided to run off to help me out with our little mission. Oh, good lord. Please. It's fine. We can be on the date with a dog. That's all good. What's the worst that could happen? Yep. There you go. I was gonna say, aren't we gonna make the necklace for you? Like, it just feels weird. It's like, here's the raw materials to make a necklace with. I mean, wouldn't you expect Serge to make the necklace himself? Doesn't that create a greater expression of, hey, I like you, here you go, because I made this for you, rather than, here's a bunch of raw materials, do what you want with. I mean, I guess it depends on the person, right? But you're welcome. So yeah, if you didn't bring Poshel along, she won't have additional dialogue for Poshel. So there you go. There's quite a lot of those little decisions in Chrono Cross to be made, though, where there's additional dialogue if you make a different decision. There's a few of them that are pretty substantial as well, so we'll talk about those when we get there. But for now, that's the most that we've got is just, hey, do you want to bring Poshel along or not? But we'll get to make some more decisions later. So, well, we usually didn't have to worry about, you know, monsters roaming around in Lizard Rock before, but no, probably not. That's how nature works, to be fair. It's cyclical. We don't really do that very much anymore, do we? I sure do remember that day. How could I forget? Well, yeah, that's why I remember it. Otherwise, it would have been like any other day, but... Don't forget the promises you make to people you like, by the way. It's not good. It does not work out. Well, it's pretty easy when you put yourself in the same place where we made that promise. You know, we were here when we made that promise, so... Yeah, it just needs to be primed back to your memory. I mean, probably. Then one day, all of a sudden, we'll wander back to El Paso Beach and be like, isn't this great? This is the place where you committed genocide on my behalf. Oh, boy. To be honest, Lena, we live in a fishing village. Our lives probably won't change very much after this. But, yeah, I don't think I'll forget this day. I'm gonna have PTSD and nightmares for weeks. Hey, sir, do you remember the 20 bucks you owe me? Oh, dear God, run! What was that noise? Besides my neighbors screaming outside, I don't even know if that showed up on the mic. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt the moment, Lena, but I'm having the strangest case of deja vu. Like, Square Enix has had me on this very beach before. And you know, the last time I was on a beach like this, it didn't end very well. Boy, I hope that doesn't happen. Why would I even say something like that out loud? Now I've jinxed it, and there's no wood around to knock on. Hang on, maybe there's, like, random floating wood. Take a look out there, Serge. We might be able to find some flotsam to knock on. I don't think reality is supposed to... Whoa! Warp like that. Oh, that's why. He's having a PTSD episode from the panther attack that they talked about back at the village. That being said, I don't think that tidal wave is an episode of PTSD. I'm pretty sure that... Okay. And now we've just gone off the deep end. Literally, in this case, because we're about to be hit by a tidal wave. I think. Ow! Man, I'm gonna have a brush burn on the bridge of my nose for a long time after that. Did you see him slam his head against the sand and just slash the front of his face? Surge the butcher knife, Surge! Take it out, Surge! PTSD or LSD? Eh, maybe a little of both. And we died. Smacked my face against the sand, scraped my face, and now I'm Red Skull. The end.
For what it's worth, sir, I don't think I was sleeping, but what the hell happened? Is there anybody else in Arnie Village that owns a Komodo that I don't know? Because this person doesn't really know who I am, or doesn't seem to. Are you a new person to the village that I didn't get introduced to? A dead body? Well, that's morbid. You talk to all strangers like that. I'm quite alive, sir. I'm not quite dead yet. Where is everybody anyway? Did they all go back to the village? Why would they leave me just laying on the beach? Huh. Maybe she went back to get help. Maybe that's what happened. Okay, fair enough. They made her babysit again? Wouldn't she have like, no, Serge is laying on the beach dying or something. You should go help. Okay. See, it's weird because this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Like he's a pretty big, like he's been to the village for quite a while, but I don't remember that guy. Oh, hey, Poshel. Yeah, what's going on? Okay, so it's not just me then. All right, fair enough. What'd you find? Ah, okay. No, Poshel, no! She did not spontaneously how do you even know what spontaneous combustion is? This is not a science. We live in a medieval fishing village, Poshel. How do you know what that is? What the hell? The butcher knife reference was something H.C. Bailey did. It's from The Simpsons. Okay, that's why I don't know where it's from, is because it's from The Simpsons. I didn't watch too much Simpsons growing up, so. Domesticated Komodo? Yeah, they had one of those in the village, but, like, I talked to all the people in that house, so you would think that they would know who I was, but apparently that guy doesn't know. Maybe he's just wandering out here, I don't know. Yeah, it's common Islander knowledge that things spontaneously combust, of course. Absolutely. All right, well, anyway, some weird stuff's happening right now, so let's not think about that too hard and get back to the village. Thankfully, like I said, we can just wander right... Serge? Wander right through Lizard Rock without... God damn it, high tide came in, didn't it? Oh, shit. Because if the tide came in, that means that the dungeon changed. Yeah, damn it. Okay, well... Lizard Rock, we can't go back. We have to go back through it manually now because the tide came in, so now all the enemies have changed around. That's just great. Alright, well, it is what it is. Let's just go look around. Did somebody refill this chest? I just grabbed this, didn't I? There wasn't a feather in here before. There was a bone. What the hell is going on? Sorry, I'm playing dumb on purpose in case anyone's wondering, but if you know what's going on, don't shout at your screen. I am well aware of the situation, but I'm choosing to play dumb for the purpose of the audience that has not seen this game before. And I apologize if I've just spoiled the moment for anybody who's watching this, but like, yeah, no, something is indeed going on, and it's not normal. I feel like you should be picking up on the hints for that, though. Well, let's see if we can fight one of these weird fishies that came in with the tide. Maybe that's what the tidal wave is all about, is the high tide coming in. But, I don't know. It didn't feel like I got hit by a wave, either way. The Opa fish here are red element, actually, so if you have Aqua Beam, like we do, I could probably equip that and get some good mileage out of it. If they don't just decide to hard cast Fireball on me. Okay, fair enough. Looks like we can't quite one-shot these guys, but that's okay. And Poshel can take a pretty good hit or two, so I'm not really too worried about that. Of course, if they're hard-casting Fireball on me, that probably means that they're going to be out of stamina for quite a while, so they probably won't be able to just mash me very easily. So. And I'll give you a 1 and a 2 and a hooah! Not bad, Poshel. Over 20 damage at this point is pretty good, so... I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Poshel. If we are in Kansas, Kansas has gotten weird since the last time we were here. Alright, not bad. I find that Poshel ends up getting quite a lot of HP, though, by the time, like, the end game comes up, so... At least, as long as you've got Poshel around. It's weird, though, because, like... I don't know if I can explain this just yet, but this game, the characters that you get recruiting your party in this game, it feels a lot like Fire Emblem to me, because like earlier availability in Fire Emblem games, those characters usually end up being some of the best ones, because you can invest in them from the beginning of the game. I feel very similar about the characters that you recruit in this game as well. So, I don't know if that makes a ton of sense, but that's just the way that I feel about it. So, I'm going to stick an Aqua Beam up here, I think. And then maybe... No, Heal can stay there, that's fine. Photon Ray we'll use later when we don't really have to worry too much about our like when we don't really have to worry too much about the elements, when it's just like, okay, just spam your strongest attacks, then we can do that. But for now, excuse me, hitting on a weakness is actually pretty good. It does quite a lot of damage, so we'll see what we can do about that. You know, assuming Surge survives the volley of fireballs that he's going to take this turn. But it looks like he's got pretty good magic resistance to go with his regular magic, so that's not bad. Do a little of that and a little of this, and then how about we Aqua Beam the other guy and see if we can one-shot. Eat this! Not bad, Surge, not bad. I'll take it. Yeah, in the early game, those little boosts to your stats actually make quite a substantial difference in terms of the damage that you deal. It can be the difference between one-shotting an enemy with a spell or leaving them on a sliver of HP with a volley of physical attacks, so. This little section of beach, by the way, okay, that's actually the big boost right there, I think. So we don't have to fight any more random battles after this. I'm going to fight one more just to be sure about that, but there you go. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, so this little section in Lizard Rock here with these 4 fish just wandering around, I come back here quite a bit, actually, in the game, because sometimes just having access to 4 easy enemies that you can kill really quickly to get those boosts it's actually kind of nice. It makes a bit of a difference. So, oh, this is a tough fight. How many of those guys are there? There's 3 and a beach bum? Oh, this is gonna suck. I don't remember if I've ever gotten this configuration. Well, that's just great. Yeah, I might as well just beat this one up. We'll just do a 1, a 2, and a 3. And get interrupted by Make Waves! Ow. Alright, well anyway, back to this. So, do a 1 and a 2 and an Aqua Beam on one of these guys to get rid of them. Once you use a spell, by the way, you can't use it again for the rest of the fight. So, whatever you're going to hit with it, make it count. So, otherwise, you're not gonna have a good time. So, Weaken, man, these guys are really trying, aren't they? Well, there goes my attack power. That's unfortunate, but yeah, we could probably still kill them with a volley. There we go. Not bad. I don't remember exactly how much that weakens your physical attacks when you do that. So you'll notice at this point that Surge and Poshul are both low on their stamina. At that point, it might be better to defend in order to increase your stamina back up. So what it'll do is it'll let you, when you hit defend, you'll actually defend until either you hit max stamina or the enemy gets an attack, whichever comes first. So in this case, we waited until we got to max stamina. And now that we have our max stamina, we can hit the enemies with a volley of attacks again. So there you go. So that's what we'll do. I probably should be a little more concerned about the beach bum as well, but yeah, he's okay. Just doing a little bit of damage, so. Yeah, you know, why don't you just sling an uplift at them? You're not going to do much damage because you've only got 3 magic, but yeah, might as well. Okay, well, not dead, but it'll interrupt there. So you see how the field is 2 reds and a yellow there? Sometimes it's nice to just sling a spell at an enemy or use a healing spell on yourself, because then it interrupts their elemental attack. Can you please kill this fish, Surge? Thank you. It interrupts their physical attacks or their magical attacks. So, like, if I had let that guy keep casting red elements and then he cast a fireball after that, it would have done quite a lot of damage, so. Sometimes it's better to just interrupt that by casting a spell. Even if it's just a healing spell, it can help you out quite a bit, so. Speaking of help you out quite a bit, Poshul's doing pretty good with all those strength boosts. Definitely making a difference. The 13 strength is pretty powerful. Oh, actually, that was not the, whatchamacallit, that was not the big level. We just got a whole bunch of stats. Okay, I'll take it. So we just got a whole bunch of stats randomly? No, fair enough. So yeah, if you ever see me come back to this part of the game, like later on, when it's like, okay, well, we're on the world map, but we're between bosses, I might come back here and just fight these 4, because as we go through the game, these battles will only get easier, and that means they're very simple sources of stats, basically. So I might just fight the enemies randomly in a dungeon instead, but if it's like, okay, well, there's a boss like right away in the next area that we go to, I might just come back here to fix these enemies' wagons so I can just get the stats before I fight the boss. So there you go. Very nice. All right, Poshel, let's finish this up. Gonna have to feed Poshel some spinach or something. She used bonking with her paws like that. We're gonna need to give her some anchor arms so she's got sufficient physical bulk to match the amount of attack that she's doing. Alright, well anyway. Actually, I would need to look into that. I don't remember if spinach is good for dogs or not. I think it's like citrus fruits. Those are the big things you don't want to feed dogs, because they're like basically allergic to them. But... okay, we didn't get any stats there, so we might be done on stats. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think we might be done on stats. And that's good, because actually the next boss is coming up pretty soon. We get to go back to Arnie Village, and then shortly after that there's a boss fight, another one, so... is there anything else down here? Yeah, a treasure chest guarded by a fish. I think this one you can push off the ledge if I remember correctly, so you might want to open it before you push it off. I think that's how it works. I could be wrong about that, but we're going to find out in a minute. Okay, just 2 fish. I can handle that. We'll do a 1 and a 2 and a 3. And then while you're on your last legs, let's destroy your friend. That's usually my go-to in terms of attacking enemies in this game. If I want to use an element that turn, nice. I'll use 1, 2, 3 element. And then if I don't want to use an element, I'll just do 1, 1, 2, 3. If I'm just building element power, or if I'm just attacking physically, I'll do 1, 1, 2, 3. Because 1, 1, 2, 3 is not the strongest combination of attacks that you have access to, but it usually gives you the most accuracy, so you can get your big hits in. So there you go. Let's open this up. Okay, just had a bone. Nothing particularly good, but I think you can push that off, if I remember correctly, so just be careful. I mean, we've got enough bones at this point. I don't think it's a huge deal if you do push it off, but... and it looks like there's just a random Komodo wandering around. I don't think it's going to be too happy without Mom being around, but, you know. That's probably why it's wandering. It's like, hey, where'd Mom go? I'll tell you, the music from this area is an earbug, though, too. I really enjoy it quite a bit. By the way, if you wander underneath that ledge while the Komodo is standing right there, he'll try to jump on you instead of you jumping on him. So, there you go. Didn't demonstrate that, but it can happen. So, pardon me, I'd like to get that chest. If you won't get out of my way, then you will die! See, now I'm the one committing genocide for optional rewards. Isn't that great? Yeah, I'm a big fan of that silver loop. It's a pretty solid little accessory. The extra little bit of accuracy, you don't really think about how much of a difference it makes, but it makes a pretty big difference sometimes. So, ooh, that was my shoulder. What the hell? I don't know if you heard that. It was pretty close to the mic, probably, but must have had a little bit of extra air in there. Yeah, I guess sometimes it's nice to fight those extra fights because you might get spoils out of it, like extra materials and stuff like that, but yeah, you know, I don't really know that it's too necessary. So, no, nothing in that area. Pardon me, Mr. Fish, I appear to have exhausted all of my minor stat boosts, so I don't really need to fight you. That third ivory helmet, by the way, will be pretty helpful. We don't currently have a third party member, but we will soon, so... Alright, now that we've made it back through, now we can run back through Lizard Rock, so there you go. Alright, and before we go into Arnie, let's just save up. May as well. And we'll go from there. Yeah, no, there's no shortage of party members in this game. As far as I'm aware, you can't recruit all of them on a single save file, because I think some of them are mutually exclusive. Like, if you make a decision to recruit one of them, you can't recruit the other one, unless it's maybe a New Game Plus you can. I don't quite remember how that works with New Game Plus, but... yeah, so I'll recruit... I don't think I'm going to recruit a ton of them, honestly. Like, I usually, if I'm not going to use them in battle, I usually don't bother recruiting them. I might mention, oh, hey, you can recruit this one, but yeah, I don't usually bother recruiting them if I'm not going to use them, you know? So, hey there. I live here. Oh, I mean, I will, because I live here? Are these people getting senile? Can't be, because this person doesn't even recognize me. What the hell's going on here? Can I make weapons and armor with you right now? I just kind of want to see where what I can do with this. So yeah, the blacksmith will actually let you forge. You can't purchase weapons and armor in this game, but you can forge them from materials. So let's see if we can do that just yet. Probably can't. Yeah, we can make ivory helmets later, but I wouldn't make an ivory helmet. You can get 3 of them just from treasure chests, and they're the lowest level of helmet that you can get. So I would, if you're gonna have screws, it's kind of similar to Fallout 4. If you're gonna use a screw, I would wait to use them until you're gonna use them on something that's an upgrade. You know, so I wouldn't bother using them on that sort of stuff. So unfortunately, we can't make an ivory vest because we don't have any fur, but that's fine. We don't really need that. We can make a bunch of ivory mails, but, well, we've already got those equipped, so I'm not going to bother. Eventually, we will get access to bronze vests, though. I think that's in the next town, if I remember correctly. And those I would like to make, because those will be an upgrade to what we already have. So, apparently we can make an ivory dagger or a calcium spatula, but we don't have a carapace for this one, so keep that in mind for later, I guess. We can disassemble some things. Apparently we have a bone glove from somewhere that we could disassemble. I don't know where that came from, but fair enough. Oh no, these are just ones that we have equipped, so we can't actually disassemble those. So. We could disassemble this one ivory helmet for a screw, and actually that might not be a bad idea to do later if I need a screw for an upgraded helmet, so I'll have to keep that one in mind. Well, either way, let's keep looking around. Wasn't it the rainy season just recently? I was gonna say, well, at least that's the same, but... Wait, where's the marlin? Where's your catch of the day? What do you mean? Huh. Well, that's weird. Alright, well... There's some weird stuff going on, but before I go home, there's one thing I'd like to pick up. Maybe I should ask the Record of Fate what's going on. Where's Radius? Hey, cat. But there is one thing I really want to pick up before we go anywhere else. It's in this bucket. Apparently somebody threw a turn red in this bucket. I don't know why they're throwing it out like it's trash, because it's one of the best buffs in the game. I don't even know if they expected you to use it as a buff, to be fair, but we'll talk about that later. It's really good, though. Definitely pick it up. You can't buy it anywhere, so definitely pick it up. There's still a line, really? I mean, yeah, but think about what would happen if you had the existential dread of having to come back every time you died as well. Like, did you think about that, too? There's a tablet back here. Where'd Toma go? Yeah, if possible. I was wondering where he went. Yeah. What do you mean, Ganji? You guys are pulling my leg, right? Is it April Fool's Day or something? Like... Alright, now I'm starting to wonder. What do you mean a new face? I live here. I mean, I'm going to make myself at home. I'm going home to sleep. This might all be a bad dream induced by getting hit by a tidal wave. Maybe if I sleep, I'll wake up. What the hell, man? Yeah, y'all got island dementia. What the hell? You'd have to mention a spoiler to say how. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, silly Walmart greeter. It's me, you know. Me. Look at that party member box in the lower right. There's a lot of room there. Radius, he turned into a cat. Oh, no. Whoever threw it out is turning red now. Yeah, probably, honestly, because they're... They can't use it anymore. I'm using it. This is some bad LSD trip. Yeah, there was something in that water, man. Apparently we weren't supposed to drink it because, good lord. I'm going to bed. I can't... What's this Hecron doing in my house? Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think this Hecron's gonna get along with the cat. Marge? Well, Mom in this case? What's going on here? Where is she? I would have figured she would have been here somewhere. Yeah, I was gonna say, apparently something's using my bed. And it's not my bed, because there's no bed. What are you doing in my bed? What do you mean, what am I doing here? Why are you talking to me? What the hell is going on? Why is this Komodo? You know what, honestly, Poshal's talking to me, so I don't know why I'm flipping out about a Komodo talking to me. No, I'm good. I don't think I want to rest. I feel like I'll only go deeper at this point. But if you go back here, you can grab a magma bomb element. It's like Fireball, but it hits all enemies, so it's pretty good. This is not my beautiful home. Where did my beautiful home go? Your house? What do you mean? Yeah, like, hang on. I was gonna say, Marge lives here? Yeah, my mother? How's that possible? Yeah, no kidding, Poshal. Oh, for Christ's sakes. I can't get out of this bad dream if I wanted to. I mean, I could probably sleep over there, but something tells me that's not going to help me. You know, maybe let's go see Lena. Maybe she'll be able to tell me what the hell's going on here. If I knew any better, I'd say she's probably where she always is, which is up here. So. Yeah, I heard this. Oh. Really? That's rude. Come on, man. I live here. Yes, Comrade Surge claims this house. It is our home now. I wonder if there's anything in this bucket. Another photon ray. Fair enough. I'll take it. 2 photon rays is better than 1. What do you mean? Well, yeah, I can imagine. Tragedy. Huh. Well, we're putting the pieces together, but I don't think I like where it's going. Well, apparently, Poshal went... I mean, I guess that's true. Poshal's going on a long journey with me, but... Did you leave a note on your door before you left? I didn't know you had time to go to the house. Surely you know who I am. You're Lena's sister, Lena's brother, excuse me. Of course you would know. Why are you looking at me like you don't know who I am? You could say that, yeah. Alright, anyway. Yeah, meow. Ah! What the hell, cat? I can imagine that's not real helpful being a fisherman if it puts you to sleep, but... fair enough. I mean, they do bury people at sea around here, so... Alright, Lena, please tell me I'm just having a nightmare. Yeah, like, I hit my head on the sand, man. Like... Yeah, like, you were on the beach a minute ago. Oh, no. Yeah, saw that one coming. What do you mean? It's me! Yeah, me. Wait. Yeah, me. What are you trying to imply? They're already out pretty far, to be fair. You know, this sounds vaguely familiar. Listen, they can't affect me at this point anyway, but... What do you mean used to? What happened to him? Well, why did you bring it up if you're just going to turn around and say something like that? I'm just making conversation here. What's wrong with these people? Wait, died? I was going to say, well, does that mean I died when the tidal wave hit me? But no, because if that was the case, then these people would be older. Like, if I just, okay, I'm back, it's been 10 years. No, that's not how this works, because everybody's the same age. Huh. I can imagine that would happen. I mean, heartbreak and all that. Yeah, I'm from Hyrule, not Termina. Yeah, don't fall into the water now, old man. That wouldn't help you with fishing either. Yeah. About that. That's not... See, I feel like both of these are going to get her uppity, but... Especially considering the fact that she started a conversation and then said, well, why are you asking? It's none of your business. It's like, lady... Yeah, my name is Serge, for what it's worth. Yes. That's not what I'm... There can be more than one person named Serge in the world, Lena. Although, the fact that I'm even saying that, like, does that mean I've embraced the insanity of wherever the hell I've ended up here, or what? Like... Huh. I mean, I can give you a reason, but... Yeah, of course not. I mean, you were really young when it happened, so I can imagine it would leave a scar. Uh-huh. What do you expect me to do? Clean it up or something? Later, Lena. I guess there's a grave up at Cape Howell now? We didn't go up on that screen originally, but I can guarantee you there was not a grave to the main character of this video game up there originally. So... by the way, if you did go to the basement of this house back when we were in the village originally, you can go in the basement over here, and you can... There's actually a party member that you can recruit there. Although I don't know if they're available right now to be recruited. I think it's after the event at Cape Howell, if I remember correctly. So, but you can go do that because you get a key item if you go down there. Again, I'm not worried about that for right now, though, because I'm planning on doing something with that in the bonus episode. So, what's that? You guys make stuff from rainbow shell? Do you know how expensive those things are? Yeah, you sure are in a fix. I don't even think I'd give you a rainbow shell if I found one. Freaking kids thinking they're gonna get, like... Those things are really, really powerful. You can make some of the best equipment in the game with those. Wait, I know that name from somewhere. Huh. Well, maybe we can go have a chat with this Nikki character. I don't even know who your Gramps is, to be fair. Well, wherever we are, the Viper Festival is... It seems like a lot of things are kind of binary, though, wherever we washed up, because, like, this place, the Viper Festival, is actually happening. Well, yeah, I mean, that's how 80s rock bands worked. But yeah, so, like, you've got people doing pretty much the exact opposite of what they did in wherever we were previously, so... actually, I did hear about a group of thieves. Those guys are the same, though. Why are the Radical Dreamers in both worlds? Huh. That's weird. But I guess I'm gonna have to be a little careful here, too, because the Radical Dreamers are here, too, so, okay. Yeah, it's just bizarre, because it's like, you think about, like, the people are acting so strangely, and they don't know who you are, but then all of a sudden it's like, hey, the Radical Dreamers are here, and it's like, wait a minute. I know who those people are. So, is it just everybody's playing a big joke or what? So. Oh, okay. Well, that's not very nice. You shouldn't put yourself down like that. You told me. I don't know. I feel like there might be a niche audience for that. This place is also significantly more depressing than where I came from. Again, I want my cozy seaside village back. Mr. Pot, where did Mr. Barrel go? I'm gonna check this one 4 times as well. And we get an ice lance from the pot. That's cool. Another blue element. That one's a little stronger than Aqua Beam, so... Like, even if, like, let's say you stick Aqua Beam and Ice Lance at the same level. If I stuck them both in my level 1 slots, Ice Lance has a higher base power. So, like, it'll still deal more damage even if they're at the same level, so... That boy was me, there can be only one. Rumors of my death were greatly exaggerated. It's a weird party member, but not the weirdest. Yes, that is true. Although, for the bonus episode, things will get pretty weird, to be fair, so. Hatsune Niki? I'm in some kind of isekai. Apparently so. Oh, okay. Huh. Well, he was here, like, 5 minutes ago. Well, it's more like 45 at this point, but, you know. I'm taking my time with this one, in case that wasn't clear. Well, now the cat will follow me around. Got anything fancy in here, cat? Another tablet. Alright, nothing particularly special. I wanted to search around for a whole bunch of the items in the, like, when we first started, because obviously there we have nothing, so having those items will help out. And then here, I specifically wanted to get the turn red. That's really the only thing that you need. The turn spells, like I said, in this game are pretty powerful. They're really the first buffs that you get access to. There are other buffs in the game that are also pretty powerful that you get access to as well. It's kind of like, usually there's a big 3 debuffs in a game. In this game, there's a big 3 buffs instead of big 3 debuffs, and the turn spells are actually one of them. You'll get one for each element, if I remember correctly, over the course of the game, but you have to find them. You can't buy them, so just keep that in mind. Well, anyway, nothing really going on around here. I guess we're gonna go up to the cave to see what we can find over there. Apparently I'm looking for my own grave site. That's just great. Something tells me that's not something most JRPG protagonists have to worry about. Is there someone in the barrel and pot? Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked if they were just sentient barrels and pots. Like, it's just... This is a world with talking animals. If they were just sentient, I would be. It wouldn't really be that out of the ordinary in my eyes, honestly. Well, it looks like somebody refilled the chests around here, too, and moved their locations. Because here's one up here all by its lonesome, with a bone in it. Nothing particularly good, but hey, you never know. That stuff might come in handy. If there is someone in the barrel or pot, though, it's probably just some random drunk from the bar. It's just like, hey, man, this is where I have chosen to ignore all my problems and drink in. Or maybe it's just really quiet in there, and that's why, because then they don't have to, like, hear people yelling at them while they're drinking. It might actually not be a bad idea for me to equip the magma bomb that we got, now that I think about it, so I'll keep that in mind for a minute. But our physical attacks are enough for this part, so... Although that might be the only battle that we get into here on Cape Howl. There is another enemy, but I don't think we're going to be fighting it unless it blocks my path. So... Haven't gotten a whole lot of feathers. Although I think we get a good chunk of feathers from some of the enemies we'll be fighting later anyway, so I'm not really super concerned about that. So... what was I gonna do? Oh, yeah. A magma bomb. That's what I was gonna do. Stick it right here. We could also stick turn red here, but I usually like to stick my buffs on the low level slots rather than the high level slots, because then I can use them without having to build up too much element power, you know? So, like, and I guess I can talk about this now. So, with each spell, it has a level that it's associated with. And, you know, these cases, it's like level 1, level 1, level 2. Magma Bomb is associated with level 2 normally. And then it has a plus or minus and another number after it before it tells you its target. So, in Magma Bomb's case, you can target all foes. So, you can stick Magma Bomb at level 2, and then it's just Magma Bomb. It just does the same damage it normally does. It does its base damage. But the plus or minus 6 after it tells you where on the element grid you can stick it other than level 2. It doesn't have to be stuck at level 2. You could stick it as low as level 1 or as high as 2 plus 6, which is 8. So if you want to, you could stick Magma Bomb at level 8, and then you'd have Magma Bomb plus 6. And it will deal more damage based on the fact that it's 6 levels higher than the normal Magma Bomb. So it's kind of similar to with Aqua Beam, because Aqua Beam is a level 1 spell, but we have it at level 3, so it will deal more damage because it's at a higher list of... It's at a higher level. So in this case, we have a Magma Bomb plus 1, so it'll deal a little more damage than a typical Magma Bomb, but we have to build up to level 3 in order to use it as well, so you got to keep that in mind too. So, but with that being said, it's not a bad idea to just... If it's more convenient for you to set it up that way, then just set it up that way, you know. Me personally, the way that I usually do it is I like to set my healing and buff elements on the low levels, because then I can just use them without having to, you know, go all the way up in terms of like building the element power. And then I stick my offensive spells on the higher levels, because the offensive spells usually I don't need to use unless it's like, okay, well, there's a big group of enemies and I want to one-shot one of them or something like that, you know. Oh, and there's an Electro Jolt. That's actually probably not a bad idea to also allocate to Surge as well, now that I think about it. I'm really allocating it to Surge because he has the highest magic power, honestly. Well, there's another reason as well, but I don't want to talk about what that is just yet. Well, we'll worry about that later. But yeah, this is another level 2 spell, so there you go. And I mean, Surge has got 10 magic at the moment, so that's pretty powerful. It's going to do... That Electro Jolt will deal more damage than Uplift will deal, even from Poshul, with Poshul's 3 magic power. So, like, you get more damage if you have the same element. If I remember correctly, you get more damage if your innate element is the same as the element of the spell, but having magic power pretty much just overcomes that and then some, so... Like, certain characters will just start with more magic, honestly, and those are usually the ones where you want to actually equip the offensive spells, because they'll be the ones that get the most mileage out of it, so. Alright, well, here we are. And they're right, there is a headstone up here. Let's take a look. I mean, you can look over my shoulder if you want, Poshul, it's fine, but... Actually, no, it might be a better idea for you to keep an eye out for enemies, actually. Just in case, because I'm going to have my back turned for now, so... And we did leave that one guy alive, I think, so... Alright, what do we got here? Rest in peace, our beloved Surge died age 7. Nobody can take anything away from him, nor can anyone give anything to him. What came from the sea has returned to the sea. Well... That is my name. Died age 7, though. How'd that happen? I mean, my name is Surge, but why don't you say it to my face? Who the hell is that, anyway? Oh, what the hell, man? Don't kick my dog. You know, you kicking my dog doesn't exactly make me want to go with you. Just a thought process. Maybe if you didn't kick them at first. Please stop looking at me like that. I don't need to know that I'm perfectly perfect. Who's this he person? And why did they tell you to kick my dog? Alright, listen, you want to throw hands, I'm ready. Who's that supposed to be? Huh. Well... She looks like trouble, but to be fair, I'm already in trouble, so the enemy of my enemy, after all. My dog! You kick my dog, now I kill you with a pencil. You know, for a teenager, she's got a bit of spunk, especially when she's talking to 3 armored soldiers, and all she has is a knife. Uh-huh. You don't want to hurt me. You hurt my dog. Now I want to hurt you. Well, listen, if that's how it's got to be, then come on, because I'm not going to let you get away with that. Man, and she's got a sailor mouth. I got a bad feeling about this one. Alright, well, let's see how this goes. So, Poshul is absent for this fight, which is deeply unfortunate because it means that Poshul will get the star level out of this fight, but, well, we don't have 3 people to help us, and now Surge has the most HP out of anybody. But we get this girl for backup here, so I guess that's something? So we have to fight Karsh, Salt, and Pepor. Alright then. Karsh is probably the best first target, honestly. So for right now, let's just build up our element power. See what we can do. He has the most HP out of anybody, but you don't want to leave him as the last one alive. He has a pretty nasty spell that he can use if he's the last one alive, so I would not recommend leaving him for last. I'd recommend fighting him first, as a matter of fact. So that's what we're going to do. Now, the girl is actually kind of interesting. She doesn't have her personal skill just yet, but if I remember correctly, after this fight and the next fight, she'll get access to a personal skill. And she's one of only 3 characters in the entire game that has this personal skill. And that might not sound like much, because it's like, well, 3 characters, that's like half of the cast in most RPGs. But it's more unique than you might think. Yeah, take Karsh with a bit of salt, something like that, yeah. And with a bit of Pepor. Alright, so they're going to talk about innate colors, and they're going to talk about what I already told you about, which is attack the enemies with the opposite color spell, and you'll get more damage out of that, but apparently these jokers didn't bring along black elements yet, so... To be fair, their magic isn't that particularly high anyway, so... And neither is Karsh's, so he's going to be just as bumbling as the rest of them. So that's just great. Do you have Magma Bomb on you? You have a Fireball spell. What else do you got? You do have a Magma Bomb. All right, well, launch it at him. You'll be out a little stamina, and I probably actually should have attacked with a 2 first to get Surge all the way back up to his maximum, but it's fine. We'll just keep attacking Karsh until he goes down. Do one of those. I should probably just do another... Yeah, my accuracy got reset, so I should probably just do another 1 and then hit him with a Magma Bomb, and we'll see where we end up. So, one of those, and then here you go. Use that AoE. Nice, not bad, Surge, not bad at all. So now, if we continue to make the field more and more red, it will actually, our red element spells will deal even more damage. That being said, I don't think we have any red element spells left after this, so let's just defend for now. Yeah, so see how he interrupted before my stamina was maxed out, so that means that we won't have Surge getting his stamina back unless the girl attacks, and hits, for that matter. So let's just let her do that to build Surge's stamina back up as best we can. So I think Karsh is pretty close. I think he's holding his abdomen there, which is usually like an indication of, hey, I'm on my last legs. Let's try throwing a fireball at him and see if that sends him to the grave. I mean, he's already at the grave, my grave, to be fair, but, you know. Well, he's almost there. The field effect is all the way red as well, so if we had any additional red elements, we could do that, but, well. I also equipped that Electro Jolt, by the way, because we could use it to beat Karsh up because he's green element. So, but it looks like we got rid of him before I needed it, so that's fine. We'll just go from there. It might be better, though, because if these guys have any red elements on them, it might actually hurt a little bit if they cast them on me, so it might be better for me to, like, cast a different spell in order to break up the field effect, so maybe I'll do that real quick. What do we got? I got Electro Jolt, but these guys are yellow elements, so we don't want to cast it on them because it'll deal, like, no damage at all, so... no, I don't want to cast it on Salt or Pepor. This is a healing spell. I don't want them to be more tanky than they already are. So, there we go. Alright, so let's defend real quick. He has an axe and he headbutts you. Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking either, to be honest, but, I mean, you know, you do you, I guess, Karsh. Alright, we'll use up the girl's stamina a little bit to build Surge back up, and I guess we'll take care of you last. I shouldn't have done that, because now I gotta use 2-2s, but... Well, to be fair, the magma bombs did good damage. Got rid of him in just a little bit of volleying, so... Alright, and that's the next star level for us, so we'll get a few stats out of this. Surge got more strength! Keep it going, Surge! Oh, wow, she got 2 strength out of that one. Not even bad. Yeah, she's got to keep up with Surge a little bit there, so I guess to be fair. And she starts with like 6 strength, so it's really not great in terms of the amount that she has, but... Well, there we go. We got a few things out of that, including an ivory vest, which means now we don't have to actually, like, make one, because we just have one. We also got a bone axe, but that's not really helpful to anybody for right now, because nobody here can equip axes, so... And another ivory helmet, so we can disassemble that for a screw. I mean, you could equip more than 3 ivory helmets if you want to. You could equip backup party members, but the maximum number of party members you can have in your party is 3, so you really only ever need 3. So, to be fair, I think we did a pretty solid job of chunking you guys' HP, so... Yeah, neither will I. You kicked my dog, now don't come back. I mean, I guess. Thanks for the assist. I'm a little on edge about this, though, honestly, because it's going to sound weird, but, like, the guys that were talking about the Radical Dreamers back in the bar were talking about them being bandits. This... I don't want to be the person that judges a book by its cover, but this girl looks an awful lot like a bandit to me. Just saying. That is the name that they called me, yes. Anyway, her name is... Are you sure your name is Kid? That sounds like an ambiguous name that you're using to swindle something out of me. But yeah, her name is Kid. So... Yeah, and she even says it in an ambiguous way. Call me Kid. It's not her name necessarily. It is her name, but the way she says it is the ambiguous part. Uh-huh. So you did it to release some violent energy rather than to help me out? Is that what I'm getting at? That's a good question, actually. I've never seen them before. Yeah. I don't know. I usually don't get in trouble with soldiers from Termina, to be fair. I mean, we beat him up pretty good. I feel like his pride is hurt. He might leave me alone for a little while. Uh-huh. Okay, see, now you're doing that thing again where you laugh at a moment that would convey that you might not be particularly morally good. Man, I don't know. I'm getting bad vibes. I don't know about all of you. I'm getting bad vibes from this chick. I'm gonna go with myself. I gotta go find... You know what? Here's my thought process, okay? I can't make this decision unless my dog is with me, because my dog is also a part of the party, so... yikes. Yeah, that's all the more trouble, actually, because you look like, based on what you just did in that fight, you can take care of yourself. You're not vulnerable. I think you'll be fine. This is one of those decisions, by the way. It's not a particularly big decision, but... Okay, but now you're talking like Karsh. Why are you saying something like that if you want me to go with you? That sounds like a threat. You're not making your case by saying something like that. Now I'm gonna say no. Get out of here. But yeah, so you can bring Kid along as another party member. Or you can tell her to piss off. It's up to you. In my case, I told her to piss off because she sounds like a bandit. Why would I want a bandit in my party? If she's just going to take my money, why would I want her here? And that's what it sounds like she's going to do. So, to be fair, if I remember correctly, she is a Radical Dreamer. But I think that might be something that's just stuck in Radical Dreamers. So, At the very least, she does tell you where we need to go next. She's going to Termina, but I think I better go back to Arnie before... Now, again, that sounds like... It sounds like you're going to sick some Hecrons on me or something. I don't know what it is with this girl, man. She... Bad vibes. Be gone, thought! I have another thought to recruit... No, that's not true. Poshul, are you okay? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what the hell? Who kicks a dog? And expects you to just... I mean, look, listen. The sirens are outside. They're coming for Karsh because they kicked the dog. What the hell, Karsh? Anyway, apparently we slept at the Komodo's place. So that's great. Well, I didn't really have anywhere else to go, to be fair. I was battered and bruised, but not quite beaten. Again, there can be more than one person named the same thing in the world. I know Surge isn't exactly a common name, but... Okay. I mean, I did hit my head, to be fair. I feel like it's kind of a bit of a stretch to say that every memory that I had previous to this, all of the gameplay that we did and everything else, is just from me getting a concussion and my brain invented it to fill in blanks, but... I mean, at this point, I don't know what else to say here. I mean, I don't think that's what it is, but I'll go along with it. Especially if it means that we'll be able to take you along to Termina. Okay, fair enough. Well, I guess that... I don't know. Who's doing the escorting here? I think we're escorting each other. No, because to be fair, I've also always known you. Sort of. So if you refuse Kid, and only if you refuse Kid to have her join your party, you get Lena instead. And this is the only opportunity you have in the entire game to recruit Lena to your party, but trust me when I tell you, she's pretty strong. She's kind of like the closest analog this game has to Marley from Chrono Trigger, in that she's associated with water elements because she's blue element innate, and she learns healing spells as part of her personal skill set. So that's the best comparison I can usually make. But again, this is the only opportunity you have to recruit her, and honestly, given her early availability and her penchant for magical attacks, she's a pretty solid mage all the way through the game. So I would recommend getting her over Kid. Genuinely. Like, it's not even a question. Like, you'll have other opportunities to run into Kid, trust me. But Lena, this is it. This is all you get. And if Kid's in your party, you don't get her, so... Also, if you didn't recruit Poshul back in the other Arnie village, because I don't even know what to call it at this point, but if you didn't recruit Poshul before this, and you didn't recruit Kid, you'll get both Lena and Poshul right now. So, there you go. I'm Surge with a soft G. That kid you knew was a hard G. Surg. And I can be your soft G. Ding! That won her over. Marlena. Something like that. Yeah, there you go. Oh, okay, so there you go. So Poshul now actually has more HP than Poshul did originally, and that's because star levels carry over to characters even if they're not in your party. The only things that don't carry over are the bonus levels that you get in between. So like, if they're not in your party, you can't get the bonus stats, but you can get star levels. So basically they'll just get whatever they would have gotten there. And that gave Poshul enough HP to get over 100 HP right now. We are in the first episode, Poshul. Slow down. No, actually don't, because that's a lot of HP that you can use to tank. So I will definitely take that. But we get Lena as well, and she's, as you can see there, she starts with 9 magic without even getting any bonuses and 10 agility, so that's pretty good. Does she get back all her stamina? 1 stamina with each attack? She actually gets more than that. That's amazing, actually, because she gets 1.1 stamina back for every other attack that happens. So that will be very helpful for her. So another point in her favor, honestly. And again, this is the only time you can get her, but she has higher stamina recovery than the main character. That's got to mean something to somebody, because it means something to me. So there you go. The only thing I'm missing is like another silver loop for Poshul, but it's okay. Do I give her the ivory vest? But yeah, see, so her current evasion percentage is 10%, which is pretty high. But if you give her the ivory vest, she gets to 13%. Now, what's Surge's for comparison? Yeah, 8%. So she's pretty good. Don't sleep on Lena. She's a pretty solid party member, all things considered. So she starts with a calcium spatula as well. So there you go. Don't think other Poshul says different things. Maybe they do, being our Poshul. I'm not sure, honestly. I feel like the other Poshul has pretty much, like, the other Poshul pretty much has the same things to say from this point forward. I don't think it's distinguished which Poshul is which, but at least not yet, anyway. Maybe later in the game, but when we figure out what the hell is going on here. But for now, I don't think so. By the way, since Lena has pretty high base magic, it might be a good idea to allocate some elements to her, so let's do that, shall we? Let's get everybody... I usually like to have, like, an item, and actually, really just items in the first elements level for a little while, so I might just do that. We had a cure here. Yeah, so let's just leave that where it is for now. And then I'll probably get, like, an antidote or something to stick there. And then for this, I guess just a photon ray for now would be pretty good. So, excuse me. Tablet. If I could get another heal, I would stick it here. But you've already got the cure, and we don't have anything else to put there. Yeah, you can stick an Electro Jolt there. It's probably going to be stronger even at +1 than the Uplift is at +2. So, there we go. Tablet for you, and then no other heals. I should probably give you a cure, to be fair, because you'd probably heal for a little bit more than Poshul would. Poshul, why don't you just use items there, and we'll give the cure to Lena instead. Oh, by the way, you can also auto-allocate elements to your grids, and the game will just do it for you. It's kind of like pressing the Optimize button in an armor menu and other Final Fantasies, and then it'll fill in the blanks as well. But I usually like to do it myself manually. It's just, I don't know, it takes longer, but, like, I just prefer it that way, personally. So let's give you a Magma Bomb for that, and then, yeah, maybe an Ice Lance would be pretty good for that, too. Would it be a good idea to give you a Turn Red? I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any enemies or bosses coming up where I would want Turn Red, to be fair. I will want it eventually, because there's bosses coming up where if you use Turn Red, normally what you're supposed to do with Turn Red is enemies will use it on you in order to change your element to whatever they decided they want it to be. But you can also use it on yourself to give you the attack properties of that element. So like if I use Turn Red on Surge with Lena, Surge will gain the red element and his attacks will be considered red elements, so then he'll be able to hit blue element enemies more effectively. Normally what happens though is if the enemy uses Turn Red on you, it changes your defense properties, but if you use Turn Red on yourself, if I remember correctly, it doesn't change your defensive properties to be, well, whatever that element is. So if you give yourself red element, as far as I know, it only changes your attack properties, which is really weird. I'm not sure why it works like that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works, so. Yeah, give it to yourself, imbue weapon. Against you, imbue armor. Yeah, pretty much, yep. So if you use it on self, you give it to your weapon. If it's used on you, then it's the armor instead. So it affects attack if you use it on yourself, but defense if it's used on something else, not your party, so. Actually, it's weird that the other Poshul isn't present while we have ours. Yeah, I think they might have done that because so there's two Poshuls, right? I don't think that's too much of a spoiler at this point to say, but there's two Poshuls and there's two Lenas. And later on in the game, you can bring one of them to the other one, and they have a special conversation that unlocks a personal skill. So that's what that is all about, basically. And I think they didn't have the other ones present because they didn't want you to be like, okay, well, where's my personal skill? You know? So it's just I guess it's just to save some space or something. I don't know. We don't have any use for this bone axe. So I think I'm going to disassemble it. We don't really need anything in there other than the copper. The copper will be helpful, so I'm going to disassemble that to get that going. And then we have an ivory mail that we can disassemble. Not that we really need to do anything with that, but I guess I could disassemble this for fur, but I don't know. Would it be better to sell that, though? I don't know. I'll figure that out later. This is definitely better to disassemble this spare one for a screw, though. So we'll do that. Definitely don't want to disassemble the silver loop for now. Let's see how much the ivory No, that's probably more worth it to sell, honestly. We've got a bunch of extras of the other stuff, so I think it's better to just sell that one. So there we go. And, I mean, I probably could have sold the bone axe too, but the copper is pretty nice to have around, so. Let's see if we can buy a couple of elements as well, because I think we could use a couple of them for Lena and stuff. Like, if you have a cure, that wouldn't be terrible. Yeah, spoiler to the entire game's concept. I mean, honestly, the game's given us quite a few hints at this point. I'm still playing dumb, but at this point, it's... The cat's kind of out of the bag, so I guess we could just say it. This is not Arnie Village. Not the one that we know, anyway. It's a completely different Arnie Village. We just don't know where it is and why it is just yet. But we will figure it out eventually. We just don't know that part yet, so... It's just going to take a little bit to figure it out, that's all. Oh, you do have cures. They're 100, but it's not bad. It might be better to get some medicine and antidotes, though, just to have them. I think you buy them 5 at a time when you buy them like this, though. I don't remember. No, I guess not, because this is 15, so let's just buy up to 5 and then 5 there. We'll get one more cure so that we can give it to Poshel, and then... Actually, it might not be a bad idea to stick a bunch of medicine and antidote in my inventory as well. Like, just stick them in with the tablets, you know? So, maybe we buy 10 of them. I mean, it's 150. That's not terrible, you know? That's not going to break the bank. I just got 140 from the selling the ivory mail after all. So, and then I don't have to buy these basically ever again, because I'm pretty sure 15 spread across the whole party will be enough for the entire game. So, I think most status effects go away after a fight is over anyway, so. You'll notice something though, I can't equip the medicines or the antidotes at level 1, because they are level 2, so I have to equip them at level 2, or else they just won't go into slots, so there you go. That probably means it's a good idea to stick Cure on the previous level then. And I've got a heal, but I've also got a cure, so let's just stick cure there. And then, yeah, that's good for you. For you, probably stick a cure down here, so you've got it. And then medicine, antidote. And then electro jolt, not that you really need that badly, but it's there for you. Tablet, and then you've got a cure already, but we're gonna take that out of there. Actually, it's probably better for you to have the cure rather than the heal. I'll keep heal for somebody else. I'm sure it'll eventually. I think they restore about the same amount of HP, to be fair, so I don't think it's a huge deal whether you do that or not, but well, it's there. Actually, I'm going to keep Magma Bomb for Surge, I think, because then he can use that on all enemies, and then if I need somebody to just deal lots of damage to a single enemy, I'll have Lena do the Ice Lance, so let's do that. And we'll see how that goes. Because pretty soon, Surge is actually going to get a single target attack that'll go in this level 3 slot, so that should work a little better for him. On the plus side, we can start a whole fresh life here, that's true. We don't have any, you know, physical connections to anything here. That's scary because it's like, okay, well now I don't know anything. I don't have anything left from where I was, but at the same time, that's a scary and a blessing. This guy, he's already worried about the economy. I don't think I have to be, honestly. Like, it's not what I'm buying isn't going to break the bank, first of all, and second of all, like, this game's pretty simple. Like, I don't think we're going to struggle a whole lot with this game. It's pretty easy. Physical attacks by themselves are pretty much enough to get you through, but you know, it's just a force of habit, I guess. Anyway, in order to get to Termina, we have to go through Fossil Valley, so that's where we're going to go. And there's actually 2 optional things that you can do here in Fossil Valley. We'll talk about them in a sec. Okay. Actually, it might not be a good idea to go through here just yet, and I'll tell you why. We just recruited a new party member, and we just fought a boss. So you know what we're missing? Bonus stats. Let's go back to Lizard Rock. So we can fight that circle of fish again. Because stat boosts a go-go. There's a reason why I'm doing it specifically with Lena in the party. These 3 party members are going to be kind of here for quite a while. They're out of the way that I usually play Chrono Cross is I focus on specific party members as kind of like the mainstays, and I usually focus on just like a group of, well, for now I'm going to focus primarily on a group of about 4 or 5 of them. So it's just a little easier to raise just 4 or 5 of them, because then you don't have to like do this 6 or 7 times because you're raising 20 party members at once, you know. Like that might get you perfect game stats, but it's a little more than I'd like to do. So, but I usually focus on about 4 or 5 party members depending on when we're at in the game. So, but Poshul and Lena are 2 party members that I actually do plan on investing in for a little while. So getting them bonus stats for now will help them keep ahead of everybody else. So, and honestly, that's part of the problem though. Like if you think about it, it's one of the it's kind of a strength and a shortcoming. It's a double-edged sword in Chrono Cross's case, because like if you do what I am currently doing, where you invest in the characters that are in your party rather than just steamrolling ahead to try to get the other ones and not worrying about bonus stats, you kind of just exasperate the problem, don't you? Because like that means that, I mean, if you just steamroll ahead, then your characters don't end up as powerful as they could be, and in Surge's case, he wants to be as strong as possible because he's the main character. But if you steamroll ahead, that also means that the characters you get later on won't be at as much of a disadvantage, because you won't have all the bonus stats to fall back on. So it's kind of a weird problem to have, and it does, in fact, like I said before, remind me a lot of Fire Emblem, because in a lot of cases in Fire Emblem, because you can invest so heavily in the characters that are available earlier in the game, sometimes they just end up being some of the best ones, because you can fine-tune them, you know what I mean? And it's the same in this game. You can fine-tune the stats of the characters that are available early, and then you don't have to worry so much about that. But the characters that come in later, you don't have as much of an opportunity to, well, fine-tune them. And it can be problematic, because then it's like, okay, well, that just means that these characters that we're getting they're more replacements than they are their own party members, you know? I probably shouldn't have done that, because caster. And you're a red element, so this Ice Lance is gonna hurt. Goodbye. Damn, already doing 61 damage, and we just got her. But yeah, this is why this circle of fish is so nice for this sort of stuff, because you can just walk right up to them and just do this, basically. Now, Lena didn't get any magic there. That's a little bit iffy, but it's fine. She'll be fine. We don't really need the bonus stats later in the game, to be honest, but getting them early, it doesn't hurt. I mean, we need every little bit we can get for right now, you know, so. I don't know how much I'll actually, like, do this in practice, though. Like, I feel like I'm doing it right now just because it's close to the end of the episode, and I don't want to, like, go off and do something super substantial right now. Because Fossil Valley will take, like, 10 minutes, and that's it. And then we can save right before the next major sequence, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much I'll actually do this in practice. That being said, getting Lena some extra HP before we go to Fossil Valley, probably not a terrible idea. So, okay, there's 2 of these guys left, so just bop, and bada bing, bada boom, bum, bow. And then Lena, why don't you just do the same thing? 1, 1, 2, 2. And Ice Lance! I don't have to use Ice Lance to kill this guy. I just like to. Alright, now let's see if that's, if we got our, all the bonus stats we're gonna get for now, or if we're gonna get a few more. Well, we're still getting some, so that means we did not get the bonus stats just yet. We did not hit the cap, I should say. And there are enemies to fight in Fossil Valley as well, so I don't have to go kill all these fish, but there's only a few enemies to fight in Fossil Valley. Probably not quite enough to get us to that bonus, but there is one that you can fight that's optional to fight, but I'm going to give a, I hope, compelling argument as to why you don't want to fight that one, so that being said, well, you know what, it's going to happen in like 5 minutes anyway, so I'll talk about it in a minute. Okay, so I guess that does kind of give you an idea of where to go, because if we look at our record of fate there, it says, here's your next destination, the port town of Termina, and then it gives you some flavor text to tell you what you might encounter when you get there. So. Apparently, we're going to encounter the pride of the Acacia Dragoons. Acacia? It's not Arcadia, I know that much. Alright, they said stick to the low road, and they're going to tell me that again. Cool. Alright, fair enough. I am about to deliberately disobey their orders, though. Is the high road here? No. I gotta find the way up, that's all. There it is. Oh, okay, I just gotta go up there. Wild Hecrons! I told you these guys were trouble. If you do stick to the low road by the... Whoa. Dead dragon skull. If you do stick to the low road, by the way, it's a pretty short dungeon. Oh, okay, these are dingoes, not Hecrons. Fair enough. Yeah, it's pretty short. It's kind of just one linear path with a couple of little enemies around. But that's about it. Anger! Oh, I pissed off the mama. Yeah, so we didn't pan over, but if you kill the babies, the mama will be kind of pissed about the fact that you, well, killed her babies. So it might be better to defeat the mama first. Although, if I remember correctly, that also pisses off the babies, so I don't think it matters which way you go. Poshel, you were just kicking that thing repeatedly, right? You weren't doing what I think you might have just been doing there, because if... Like, listen, I don't think... This game's already weird enough. I don't think I'm prepared for my dog to be pissing the enemies to death. Okay? Like, that might be going one step too far. Well, the little one hasn't done anything yet. I'm sorry, little one. For what it's worth, you'll come back. Man, this place really is all about death, isn't it? Like, we've already committed genocide on Komodos, and now I'm killing a bunch of mama and baby dingoes just because they're in my way. That's not very nice, Serge. Oh, okay, apparently one of them dropped a fireball for me. And some leather. Both of those could come in handy. I mean, I guess only the strong survive, but, like, I think we're taking it a little too far. Yeah, we can go this way, and that's the end of the dungeon right there, but... I don't want to go up there just yet. I want to go deliberately disobey what those soldiers just said and go up the high road instead. Supernatural phenomenon? Yes, actually. Yeah, we get that all the time. Sucker! How is Poshel climbing a ladder anyway? Well, if that's the strangest thing that's happening around here, then I don't know. I think we're in pretty good shape. Yeah, like I said, we get that all the time. Sure I do. Okay, I will go do what I have to do. And by that I mean I will deliberately ignore what you're asking me to do, and instead go this way. So, the howling is coming from the dragon skull that's over there. There's a key item that you can pick up over there that lets you recruit a party member later on in the game. I'm not going to pick it up because I'm not planning on recruiting them, but you can if you want. It's the first of many. I would like this bellflower, though, so I'm going to take that with me. Hell, worst comes to worst, I can give it to Lena, but I have another person that we can give it to instead, so. Oh, that's not good. That's a good question. Why would they put you in charge if it's your first day? Listen, it's fine. I'm an exorcist. I also exorcise monsters. I'll be okay. I'll be back. I just need to go down here for demonstrative purposes. So, if you go down here... Oh, there's a dodo's nest. Yeah, so the enemy that's up there, the one that's got the colorful feathers but has the white feathered body, it's called a dodo in this version of the game, but it's actually called a cickatrice in the Japanese version of the game. And I have a lot of PTSD from fighting the cickatrice in Final Fantasy XII, to be fair, and the cluckatrice, which might be the later palette swap version of this, but it's a dodo in this version. There is an egg that is intact in the dodo nest there, and you can take it, but you will piss the dodo off and you'll have to fight it and kill it. The egg is, if you hatch it later, it actually hatches into a party member. That being said, in the game's code, here's my compelling argument as to why you wouldn't want to take the egg with you and recruit the party member. In the game's code, this dodo is the only female dodo that is guaranteed to be in this game. Every other dodo that you can fight later, including the radiant ones, is male in the game's code. Which means, if I take that egg, which by the way is not a dodo egg, so we're not like, okay, well we'll just hatch this one, surely it'll be female. It's not a dodo egg. So if you take that egg, you are condemning the dodos to extinction. Thus why they're called dodos, because they were, made extinct by human hunting. So is it really worth condemning an entire group of enemies to extinction for the purpose of one more party member? The answer kind of depends on what's in that egg, doesn't it? It's a baby dragon. So if you want a baby dragon party member, then congratulations, you have to commit genocide and the extinction of a race in order to do it. But if you're okay with that, then go ahead and go nuts. But I'm not gonna do it. I don't. To be fair, here's another counterpoint. To be fair, the baby dragon is red element, and well, depending on how much you like Kid or don't like Kid, it might be worth it to have another red element. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna grab it. I'm gonna go over here instead and run into these jokers again. Are you guys always going to make shaking jokes because your name's Salt and Pepor? Probably looked something like that. We meet again. Yes. Did I hit you on the head too hard the last time? I get the feeling it's going to be the other way around. Now Poshul can get her revenge. I forget if Poshul is actually going to deal less damage because Poshul is yellow element innately, and so are these guys, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? Oh, good. Now I'm really going to have to... Maybe I'll actually have to defend in this fight then. Okay, well, we don't have quite a lot of HP at the moment, so I'll have to keep that in mind. You know, it's fine. What's the worst that could happen? It's just one element. I'll be okay. Oh, man. Really? These guys. Yeah, so he used Turn Black on us instead of an attacking black element spell. So now that I have the black element, I actually have defense against any other black element spells that they would use on me instead. And, well, they don't have white element attacks to hit me with, so... Yeah, good job. You really broke this one, didn't you? Alright, so it might be worth it to go after Pepor first since he's going to strengthen himself rather than Salt. I don't remember exactly what either of these two dickheads do, but, like, I really don't think they're going to be a big problem, honestly. Okay, that reduces defense, I think. So it might be worth it to hurry up a little bit and beat up Salt a little more. Yeah, I'm just going to keep beating him up. It's fine. What's the worst that could happen? Just keep bonking. Pepor box. Well, it's red element, so if this hits Lena, yeah, I was going to say it's probably going to hurt a little bit, but it's probably fine. We can just Ice Lance and then we can heal her next turn. Like maybe use Poshul's turn to use a tablet or something. We've got 25 of them after all. Goodbye. So yeah, I'm not really super concerned about low res anymore, because once you get rid of Pepor, it's kind of like, okay, well, you used low res, but like, what are you gonna do with it? Your basic attack, you know? Like, that's not really gonna make a big difference, man. By the way, if you see any glitchy stuff happening in the text boxes up there, I think those are articles from Duck Station, if I remember correctly. So don't worry too much about it. It's fine, you know. It's just... We won't be on that screen for long enough for it to make a huge difference, so... Well, now that we're done with those jokers, we can use some of Poshul's... I was going to say MP, but that's not really right, is it? But we get another star level out of it, so there's our third. Get a couple of extra little stats, or a lot of stats in Poshul's case. Even got some magic out of it, wow. And Lena got no more magic, but she got some more strength, so I guess that's fine. I mean, physical attacks are pretty solid in this one, so if she gets more strength, she'll just hit harder. That's cool. use a cure. We get a copper out of it. I would have rather have gotten 2 coppers rather than an uplift. I think uplift is a rare drop, but, well, it is what it is. I already got another copper out of the other thing that I disassembled, so it's all good. So, even though this is just the first episode, we've already gotten to make several fairly interesting, I would imagine, decisions in this older JRPG. Usually, I don't get to make this many decisions. It's kind of refreshing, actually. And, you know, the environment of the area is equally as refreshing. So let's see if they can continue with this refreshing change of pace for an RPG as we continue to play the Summer Vibes video game Chrono Cross on the next episode, which will be happening tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So, thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream. I'll see all of you on the next one, which, as I said, will be tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Until then, everybody, take care, and have a good one. Can't believe we just started, and Surge is already almost at 100 HP. And he's already got 15 strength. Like, these bonus stats are no joke. I need to get Lena a little more magic so that she can keep up with Surge, but these bonus stats, no joke.